There's a studio for my wife and his wife. They do a podcast.
Yeah.
Right
They
across.
probably
I'll show
want
it to you.
to bring you on.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell Maya about it.
Who on camera? Y'all on camera? I know. Y'all on camera? Oh, all right.
She may be a little bit.
Oh, I might be on camera.
You can be. You don't have to.
It is
She's trying to be off.
very.
She's trying to be. You might need to sit over there.
She's off now.
Yeah.
Alright, let's try this.
Yeah. Like. Yeah. Most days I never be bothered with all of the drama presented in day to day. Most people won't even start up a problem. Need not for the brawling, it's safe to say. We come from the bottom. We ain't got $1 to cop and then put it on layaway. We go down the block for the washing and put all the ramen on top of the paper plate. Fry bologna, get a bubble, you pop it. Catch him lacking and you run in his pockets. Anything to get some money to top it. Go with the broccoli, what I've been trying to get. Man, a blessing at least. And when I'ma give it a rest, when I'm resting in peace. Used to see all of the baddies and only would bother with physical features. I was a baller, you see, with a ratchet that's sorta like Gilbert Arenas. Hey, didn't wanna grow up, I fill up the double with Henny and Cola. And wanted a rollie and whipping a rover. The sitting with plenty of big as a boulder. Wanted to know how the predators move and double the credit and step with the goons. That try to be bad is a terrible tool. Ride with the devil, a negative move. Said it was hell I was headed into. I got a spot up in heaven, I'm not finna get it if I don't get out of this. Ay. I try to run up a bag and double it back and cop in the bins, I try to run up a tab and up in the mag and follow the trends, I try to hustle and brag and up in the flag and holler revenge, I try to clutch it and pull up and dump it, the money I got it to spend, I try to run up a bag and double it back and cop in the bins, I try to run up a tab and up in the mag and follow the trends, I try to hustle and brag and up in the flag and holler revenge, I try to clutch it and pull up and dump it, the money I got it to spend. Most of these rappers be acting too finicky. I don't see all they picture too vividly. Man, I come from the crib with amenities. Rode on top of the rent with a cable bill. Hope they gon' get them from A to B. Cut the rent down the middle like symmetry. In the hood, they take different abilities. Don't believe in them just cause they say they real. Pen or the pencil on Bron James. When I listen, I'm sick of the mind games. Every kid is a witness of crime, shame, and it's what they gon' tell them to get? What else? Man, a check of the streets, and then they all under arrest. What else? Or they resting in peace. Radio won't even say what they did. They play all the rappers who raising a cig and tell every baby go lay with a chick. The industry rappers are raising your kid, claiming them all of your taxes. Even the government trying to campaign it's a trip. They plant it all in your head and they run it on playlist so they can get paid in a sick. No creative player, don't try to play me. I'm rocking with Hova but not a Jay-Z. I think of the level he on and I say I'm an underachiever like Bron and AD. Told me to tell all the youngins, forget all the haters. They better off following me. He be the chief and you know when he all in my home and it's sorta like Roy and KC. I try to run up a bag and double it back and cop in the bins, I try to run up a tab and up in the mag and follow the trends, I try to hustle and brag and up in the flag and holler revenge, I try to clutch it and pull up and dump it, the money I got it to spend, I try to run up a bag and double it back and cop in the bins, I try to run up a tab and up in the mag and follow the trends, I try to hustle and brag and up in the flag and holler revenge, I try to clutch it and pull up and dump it, the money I got it to spend,
Tank filmed it.
Hip hop, let me holler at y'all for a second. This conversation long overdue. All I hear y'all talking about is your money in large amounts. Must think accountability is your ability to count. It's not, that's why this culture lukewarm, intoxicated with ignorance. Let me spit the truth on. I said that glorifying murder in our music is bad. Now people coming at me saying stop speaking up, we like to hear that. If that's your preference, that's cool, but when you get on the defense, then let me know. My spirit irritating your demons. I'm supposed to back down cause of some internet hatred. I've been defeating Goliath, baby, my first name David. All year round we feed people death and destruction, you heard me? But it's okay cause on Thanksgiving we Never mind. People threaten to hurt me. People say I'm clout chasing. They want the evil unopposed. That sound like Satan. But I'm responding with love, maturing as I go through this. It ain't just about how I love Jesus, it's about how well I love Judas. They can't silence my voice. I'm gonna be vocal forever. These people hating on you, D. They gonna be local forever. I got the industry shook. That guilt can't pile up. I drew a line in the sand and it messed they amp pile up. I ain't here to blame it or shame it, but it's all about how you frame it. Now evil has an excuse, and it's called entertainment. You got a 3-part ecosystem. The labels are one, but without creators and consumers, labels can't run. So what the fans support is what the artists gon' make. Gotta deprogram and reprogram what we consume and create. I got so much more to say, but I let God lead the way. Trust I'ma serve you in doses. Who know about to start coaching you? 3, 2, 1. It's 3 to 1. Some industry, some fans, and some artists against me, but I don't run. I got the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Class officially in session, y'all. This about to be fun. Oh man, it's about to be fun. This just the syllabus, bro. It's just the beginning. We got a lot to cover. We got a whole lot we gonna cover. Like how to be in this world, but not of this world. How to be real, righteous, and relevant. Bump this world. How to turn over tables in a temple when it's time, without ever letting anger enter your heart and mind. Yeah. How to stand for God when everybody else saying it's hard. Yeah.
But instead of you telling them about your hood and how many people you could kill and how many guns you got, tell them about my plan of redemption. So it ain't just about rapping. Do you really have a heart for God, or do you just want to be a star?
I don't look like what I've been through. Old me in the rear view.
Told the devil, boy, you tripping, I don't hear you. And I don't fear you, cause I got it all in me. He's all in me, I got it all in me. He's all in me, like I got it all in me. He's all in me, I got him all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me. This is the G-Mix.
That's all on you, bro. I'll tell you what a trophy is. God put his hand on me like what sauce is. If you looking for me, I be where the booth is. I be really in my bag like a school kid. Slide from my God in a way I'm gon' hide it. Young hot head, I'm a Holy Ghost rider. Looking at my watch and they say I'm glow timing. Let's move to LA, I think I need a low rider.
Where you find me, covered in a spirit, couple of angels behind me. Your words define me, oh how divine me. Spirit that appears when these wanna try me. Ready to get it poppin', ready to get it knockin'. Spirit of God when I ride, ain't no way to stop. That's the sound of revival, so cast down your idol. He spilled blood for me, so I will lift him high up.
I don't look like what I've been through. Old me in the rear view.
Told the devil, boy, you tripping, I don't hear you. And I don't fear you, cause I got it all in me. He's all in me, I got it all in me. He's all in me, like I got it all in me. He's all in me, I got him all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me.
Hear his name in every breath that I breathe. Yahweh teaches ways in every flock that I lead. Only hit the booth and blocks with one intention, nurture and feed, then double back and water the seed. I don't put this on, this ain't a shirt, it ain't on me, it's in me. I'm a rider and I'm a slide, but only if you send me. Got in shape and by choice, never tatted. Got a Bible in the pen, ever since then I've been at it. My affliction got me addicted to the gospel. It was healing and spared my life when admitted into this redemption hospital. Then all things became possible, no longer react hostile. Change is real, hallelujah.
Can't fake fanatic, my faith moves sporadic. My mind used to be crazy, was nothing up in the attic. I'm gospel gangsta tatty, stuck to Jesus like I'm mad. Get ready, you want static? Homie, it's automatic. Then I call up Miles with the squabble up. Clean my spirit with communion, homie, bottoms up. Banging in there like a carpenter, hitting on a nail. When it comes to blessing God, he tip over the scale. I'm a California rare breed, I unlace the beach. With every scene, praise and worship, homie, the X complete. Yahweh long with me, so the devil he faced defeat. West Coast emotion and bread, embrace the streets.
I don't look like what I've been through. Old me in the rear view.
Told the devil, boy, you tripping, I don't hear you. And I don't fear you, cause I got him all in me. He's all in me, I got him all in me. He's all in me, I got him all in me. He's all in me, I got him all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me. He's all in me, yes, I got him all in me. He's all in me, he's all in me.
G-Mix.
know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah.
All right, before I get into who the show is sponsored by, I want to go ahead and give a condolence out to Tyler Hate's life. He had a situation where he lost his life earlier this week. Christian hip-hop artist, Rapzilla artist, and his music is amazing. We're going to cherish his memory, and he will live on in our hearts. So be in prayer for everyone and his family. And we just, our hearts and minds go out to his family. And also, we have this week's sponsor. Let's go ahead and just call it what it is, man. It's Loaded by Dee-1. It comes out on August 21st. As of yesterday, you guys had the number 2 pre-save in the world?
Number 2 in the world when it comes to pre-orders on iTunes, right behind LL4L.
Yeah, so Loaded, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Loaded. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Is that the one where you have the feature with Fredo Bangs?
Yeah, Fredo Bang is on the album. We got a song called I Apologize. You know, Fredo Bang is my former middle school student. I was his teacher. I also got Project Pat on the album.
Okay,
We got a song called All Glory to God. Also got Raheem Devon on the album. We got a song called Purify My Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, this album is loaded. No pun intended. You heard me? And when I say loaded, loaded is an acronym. Loaded stands for Life of a Disruptor Evolving Daily.
I saw that. I saw that. Well, no introduction needed. Everyone, Dee-1 is in the building.
Yeah. Wow. What's
Welcome
good,
back.
Trackstarz Nation? Thank y'all. It's been a minute.
You've been into a lot of stuff since the last time you were here.
A lot.
Oh, my gosh.
You hear me?
Yeah.
But God been with me through it all, so it's been a beautiful journey.
Yeah, and we also got TK Lee in the building. Y'all say what's up to TK Lee.
T-Kizzle.
And we have Trackstar's very own Wrestling in the building. Bless you. Glad to have you.
All right, sir. So last time you were here, when was that?
Oh, man, that was 3 years ago when I was doing the Make Me a Rapper challenge.
So since then, you made a statement in hip hop. You started a movement, trying to get hip hop back on the right track. Caused a lot of controversy. The recent thing that you've been getting into controversy over was you came out with a video saying you're not voting for Donald Trump, saying that you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, and people lost their minds about it.
Yeah, certain people
lost their minds about it, and the reaction was, how could you vote for Kamala Harris when she's about this, and this? You should be voting for Donald Trump with us. What's your reaction to that?
I laugh at it. Honestly, I laugh at it because, man, we had 4 years of him in office. And with those 4 years, I just look at what took place. And I'm just like, man, the country was more divisive than it's been in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We look at that January 6th insurrection. I don't know what people trying to cover that up and call that and act like that wasn't something different. You heard me? And a lot of that was people saying it's in the name of Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just seeing the way he constantly just, we lowered the bar so much while he was in office in terms of what we expect from a president in terms of decorum and how they carry themselves and character, right? You know, I believe he went on record and said that a convicted felon shouldn't be able to run for a president or something like that. And now he's a convicted felon. You heard me? Running to be president.
Yeah.
Like just all that. And I still ain't got no beef with him. You heard me? Like I wish, sure, if he wanted to sit down and chop it up, we could do that. But being an American, we have the right to say who we want to vote for and not vote for. And that doesn't impact whether we are Christian or not.
Right.
Because we can all still say, oh, you voting for Trump, I'm voting for Kamala, you voting for Robert Kennedy, you voting for Ross Perot, you voting for Newt Gingrich, you know what I'm saying? And we all love
Cornel
Jesus.
West, yeah.
And we all love Jesus.
Yeah.
And we can sit here and have, we should be able to model it for the world how things don't have to become so divisive and so toxic when people have different voting preferences. But I've seen inside the body of Christ that people will go so far as to say you are a Satanist
Yeah.
if you are not voting for a Republican.
Yeah.
They will say you are not a Christian. It's impossible to be a Christian. They say all kind of things. And I'm so thankful that I did it. Like, bro, God be having his hand on me even when I don't realize it. So from the outside, people might look at it like, oh, D, you said this, and it caused controversy. Man, it opened my eyes, the eyes of a man who just be out here doing as good of a work as I can do with the gifts I've been blessed with, you know, trying to spread the gospel, spread love, be an educator, be a dope hip hop artist. But it showed me like, oh, inside the body, we are broken and we are extremely divided. I got my black Christian friends and family members saying, man, anybody who vote for Trump is a racist, right? Saying Trump is a racist, saying all this stuff. I got my daddy who has fallen out with another family member in our personal family because he found out that family member voted for Trump, right? That's on one hand. On the other hand, I got people saying the exact opposite on the internet, talking about, oh, if you're not voting for Trump, you're not really Christian. You're not really saved. So me seeing that, I'm just like, oh, it's possible. Once again, God called me to be a bridge in this world. And being a bridge means there's a way to have healthy discourse and dialogue, especially within the body of believers, to where we might have different voting preferences for our own reasons. You know what I'm saying? And Christians act like they're holding a gun to your head. Like, you got to tell us why. Why you ain't voting for him? Why? I could go on my page all day online and be pro-Trump this and ignore him doing this or saying this, ignore all the lies he tell. But you say you're not voting for him? That gun up to your head, you better tell us why. You better tell us why. You better tell us why.
I see your lives.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
And then you go on live for an hour and a half, for 2 hours with people who are voting for a different candidate than me, and we both talk about that, you know, and we both express why we feel how we feel, and then people come back in the comments and say, you still ain't tell us why. No, y'all just are bothered that I am not gonna vote for the daddy. You know?
So here's my question.
And I got a picture with his wife. Like, ain't no beef. Know what I'm saying? Like, me and his wife did a speaking engagement before.
Yeah.
She got booed off the stage in Baltimore, Maryland, and literally, and I had just got a standing ovation, and she got booed off the stage, and I was like, man, I was feeling bad. Like, I believe that I actually went out there and was telling them kids, it was teenagers, I was like, y'all, that's not what's up. You know what I mean? And I know that these kids didn't know what was what, and she didn't do nothing wrong to deserve to get booed, but it was just who she was married to.
Sure.
And then it was like, oh, my mama and daddy don't like your husband, so we got to boo you when you come on stage. And I told them teenagers, like, that ain't cool, man. That ain't gangster. That ain't what's up. And I took a picture with it. I got it in my phone right now. Like, it don't have to be all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just, they don't know how God would want us truly operating with people who have opposing views than us.
So we have on our team, we have some people voting for Trump, we have some people voting Kamala, we have some people not voting at all, and we have discussions all the time, and we love each other. So it's sad to me that we see this division happening in society, and I'm on the side where I agree with you. I think Trump is one of the worst people ever. And I got people on the team that disagree with me. I guess the question is, you went from I'm not voting for Trump to I'm going to vote for Kamala. How did you get to that place?
Yeah, because, brother, I was a math teacher before any of this, right? So I understand numbers. So Trump has been the front runner. So not voting for Trump and just choosing not to vote at all is the same as basically voting for Trump. Because if he's the front runner already and you just simply say, well, I'm just not going to vote at all, or I'm going to vote for a third-party candidate who has a 0% chance of winning, then that's not really helping him to not get elected. You feel me?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like there's only two candidates who have a chance to win. Even if it wasn't Trump, Kamala Harris, even if it was Joe Biden, my vote was going to be
against
whoever. Because I am more anti-him than I am pro any of them.
Yeah.
And some people, that bothers them because they want to micromanage my voting preference and say, well, if you're just anti-him, then just don't vote. You don't have to vote for this person. No, I don't want him to win again. And if he wins again, I'm going to pray for him like I'm obligated to do. I'm going to still love him. There's going to be no hatred that I have or vitriol towards him. But on this side of the election, pre-election, that's not who I would like to see win. So that's what made me say I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Do you think that the people that's mad at you say like, yo, that's a free endorsement for her? Like, you just Just
a free endorsement, dog. My bag is good right now. Like my bag is good. A free endorsement. I don't need no money to do. Dog, my platform is something to where I realize that is an obligation, and that is something that is a blessing for me to have, to where I know that there's a lot of people at the crib right now that's sitting back like I'm undecided. You know, I don't know. I'm seeing all this propaganda, and what I was seeing is it was becoming very one-sided inside the body of Christ, to where people could be pro-Trump on they pages and their platforms all day, and that goes, you know, untalked about, and that just becoming the norm, right? And my thing is like, that's fine if that's what people are on, but we not playing bully ball. Bully ball is when it's like, it's okay for us to be pro him, but nobody better not try to be pro her, or else we coming for you. We coming for, who is we? And who y'all coming for? What? We don't do that around here. Like that's not, and that's, once again, that's that behavior, to where Christian nationalist behavior is something that people get it twisted, and they start saying, well, God told us that what happened to all them pastors in 2020 who was saying that God told them that Trump was ordained and destined to win the election? What happens after that, and after he loses? Either they get so embarrassed that they have to now say, oh, well, they cheated, they stole the election, they're out of the will of God. And then something like that gives justification to, that's why we got to go, and in the name of our Lord and Savior, we got to go try to overthrow the Capitol, and we got to go, you know, and we got to go incite this violence up in Washington, D.C. Man, this is nasty, dangerous, harmful rhetoric, you know? So, like, I also understand this. Some people are so deeply embedded into the conservative side of Christianity that they could say they're voting for Trump and nobody cares, because everybody that follows them rocks with Trump. Some people are so deeply embedded into the black Christian church, right? The black church, that they say they're voting for Kamala Harris, and nobody is appalled. Everybody's like, boy, you better be voting for Kamala Harris.
Why are we talking about this? Yeah.
Then you got some people that's like, I'm going to strategically just kind of exist in the middle, and I'm not going to get involved in politics. I'm just going to keep pointing it back to, hey, it's all about God. It's all about God. So either they're not interested in politics, or they are interested, but they are just like, that ain't going to be a good look for my brand if I come out either way and say who I'm voting for. I'm the person that's like, yo, I'm open to voting for anyone, but this particular election, I feel it like really, really, really deeply ingrained in my spirit not to vote for Trump, right? So I speak on it. And if I'd have said I was voting for Trump, I'd have had buku Kamala Harris fans mad and super mad, right? So I picked a side. That's my thing. I drew a line in the sand. I feel like, honestly, he drew the line in the sand. Just with his rhetoric and everything. Plus, I will say this. I was in Killeen, Texas. I had just finished speaking at a church, and I was getting ready for my concert I had that night. I was in my hotel room. And I'm looking on my phone, and my ears were good, dog. Like, I be washing my ears, you know, I be putting little Q-tips, all that. I looks on my phone, and I sees a clip pop up, and he's speaking at like a Christian conference or convention or whatever. And I know body language too, you know what I'm saying? Notice how I say I know body language. I don't say I know body language and turn my head like in the no direction. He's talking to all these.
I'm a
he's talking to these people, and he points at himself, and his head is shaking like this, and he's like, I'm not Christian, you know what I'm saying? And amidst him saying, Christians do this, and Christians do that, and Christians do this. I'm not Christian. But Christians, vote for me this time, and you won't have to vote in 4 years. Trust me, it won't even matter. I have it all fixed. You know, Three things. Number one, it sounds like you playing in our face, dog, because it sounds like you just pointed at yourself, turn your head to the right, and say, I'm not Christian. But you're like marketing yourself as like this Christian guy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was weird to me.
Do you think he flubbed it, or do you think he intentionally said not Christian? Because, you know, people were saying he said, I'm a Christian.
Right.
Maybe Freudian slip, not.
To this day,
took it back.
Dog, that's one flub I ain't gonna make. I ain't gonna make that mistake. Like, I'm not Christian versus I'm a Christian. Like, I'm not making that mistake, my G. Like, bro, like that matters more than anything. You know, I have less of a chance of making that flub than even saying like I'm not from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know I'm from New Orleans, and I enjoy that I'm from New Orleans, but I would have a better chance of flubbing and being like, oh, I'm not from New Orleans, than than being like, oh, I'm not Christian. That would have been somewhere I would have had to be, oh, my bad, y'all. I let that slip out my mouth. Let me correct that for anybody who might have heard wrong. I need y'all to know I am a Christian. Like, there's no way I'm talking too fast in the moment, and that's ambiguous.
So what do you do then with what Kamala supports then? Gay marriage, abortion, all the transgender stuff. That's the thing that's keeping people on the Trump side. Because even though I don't believe he is against those things either.
He not, bro.
He still says he's going to be against those things. That's the real rub. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so the reality is, and thankfully I had a few very positive, constructive IG lives recently. One with my man Topher, you heard me, and one with my man Bryson Gray.
That was a good one.
And Bryson opened my eyes. He was like, man, I ain't even voting for Trump this go round. He was like, because I thought he was against abortion. He was like, no, he's for abortion up to 15 weeks. He was like, I thought he was against all the LGBTQ rights. He was like, he's like for the rights.
He had him at the crib.
He had him at the crib, and he told the transgender people, y'all can use whichever bathroom y'all want to use, and all that. So I'm just like, sheesh. So I stated in my initial video, like, look, I don't agree with all of Kamala's policies. I don't. But what political candidate will you ever agree with all of their policies? You know what I mean? Right. None. So my thing is this. When it comes to abortion, for example, right? I hear everybody saying that they want to vote for this party or this candidate. Let's not turn these candidates or these parties into idols to the point where we're blindly following them, right? Yes. But everybody's saying they want to vote for the Republican Party because they're anti-abortion. First of all, it seems like the candidate that's currently running, Trump, is not fully anti-abortion, number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, if we really saying, well, we want to adhere to the principles of the Bible, why ain't nobody saying we need to be anti-fornication? Because it's the fornication outside of wedlock that leads to these unwanted pregnancies to where people even consider getting an abortion 99% of the time.
Wow.
So when people go back and forth on just these policies and just this, that, and the third, man, we got a lot of embedded hatred in people's hearts in this country. We got a lot of people who are racist still in this country. We got a lot of people who really, their version of Jesus or the version of a Jesus that they follow still has to be contingent upon their social economic status being higher than some other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still a lot of stuff that we need to like strip down from how we are even viewing Christ, the Christ that we all say we serve.
So you were up at the White House.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Did they reach out to you? Did you?
Nah, Donald Trump hit me up. You heard me. He called my cell, and for real, he gave me $25,000, and he was like, "Look, I want you to go to the White House, D, because when you go to the White House, we gonna all the way just throw them off. We gonna mess their head up. You heard me? And then you gonna bro. Man, I went to the White House with some amazing community violence interventionists from around this country, right? Yeah. We were up there advocating for something that I would think we would all be on the same page about, which is wanting to decrease gun violence in our communities, man. Decrease gun violence. And you got people on the ground that's doing this amazing work, right, in their cities all across the country. I've been an advocate for like decreasing gun violence because I've been so personally impacted by my loved ones dying, getting shot, my students getting shot, getting murdered by one of my other students, me almost getting murdered, having a gun on my temple, you know what I'm saying, and dudes threatening to blow my brains out. So we were up there doing that. I was blessed to give a speech at the White House advocating against just gun violence overall. And the only thing that some narrow-minded, beautiful, amazing, lost Christians could say when they saw I went to the White House, only thing they could say is, they better not take our guns. You know what I'm saying? They better not take our guns. I hope y'all ain't think y'all taking our guns. Man, they better not take our guns, man. Who them people think they is? Bro, what are y'all talking about, my G?
People are dying.
We just advocating against gun violence inside of our communities. That's all I went to the White House for, bro.
Can you clarify, would you have gone if Trump was in office and he asked you to come up?
Man, absolutely. So if he win, you heard me, I'll be right back there if he'll have me. Bro, I'm the first rapper in Louisiana history to become a governor's appointee. It was a Democratic governor, John Bell Edwards, who appointed me. We currently have a Republican governor, Jeff Landry. The council that I sit on, which is the Louisiana Council for the Success of Black Men and Boys, that council still exists, but now it's under Republican leadership. I'm not going to say I don't want to be a part of that council no more because we got a Republican governor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Democrat or Republican. At this point in my life, I'm independent. I grew up Democrat because I grew up in a black family in New Orleans without a lot of money, and it's just like, that's just what we do. That's what I was taught, you know what I mean? But now as a grown man, it's like, oh yeah, like I identify as an independent, so I don't have blind loyalty to anybody but Jesus Christ.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get why everybody's not there yet. It should be obvious. If you're a Christian, you should be an independent. Nobody owns your vote just because you black or just because you're a Christian.
So imagine,
they can lie to you.
Imagine pastors in the pulpit every Sunday not being there and spewing this negative rhetoric and hatred, telling people, I just watched this documentary and I'm seeing pastors that's saying, get out my church if you voting for a Democrat. Meanwhile, I know that they got black pastors in this country that's like, if you vote for Trump, you ain't got no business being in here. Like On both sides, it's not the way that Jesus would want us being. And I can say that confidently on both sides. And my thing is like, hey, y'all, all the people who feel triggered by a dude that's brave enough to just come out here and say, look, just like we supposed to pay our taxes, it's part of being a responsible citizen in this country to vote. So many people died just so we could have this right for women to vote, for black people to vote, just everybody. So with that being said, it shouldn't be a thing where we are talking about two imperfect candidates, two imperfect parties, but there has to be this groupthink that's saying Christians are only allowed to be one way. It's showing how flawed we are inside the body of Christ, that we are getting this divided over a vote, a vote. Like a vote. It's showing that. So all the pastors out there, all the artists out there, all the people who think they're hurting somebody's feelings by saying, I'm unfollowing you. They got to announce themselves first. I'm about to unfollow you. I just wanted you to see this first. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. No, thank you, because sometimes with the mission God has me on, it'll be like, D, you might be a little naive to how dark this world is and how dark the body of Christ is in some ways. And I think I was a little naive before this. So it took for me to use my public platform to say how I feel in terms of who I'm voting for this election, and how I feel. I'm just like, even with Christians, I'm like, man, hey, this to my Christians, like we can't let this dude back in office. If you disagree with that, that's fine. That's fine. But not to the point where we're saying, oh, Dee-1 is satanic, or Dee-1 is not in the spirit. Or Dee-1 is on the payroll, or oh, you only got that White House invite because da-da-da. Boy, I've been to the White House before this. You heard me? Like, and it's just like, I just know y'all so fragile and y'all so triggered. I ain't even post pictures when I went to the White House the first time 3 years ago. I posted this picture from when I went this week because I knew it was gonna ruffle some of y'all feathers. And that's what it did. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all need to do better. Like stop, bro. Like stop with all the conspiracy theories and just all this. Like, bro, this is showing me a lot, bro. Like, it's showing me a lot.
You prepare for all the videos you're going to have to make after this interview?
After this? Bro, I personally am at peace. I'm making the video right now that needs to be made, because everything I'm saying right now is just an accurate representation of where I stand and how I feel. And if people got to do their reaction videos to this and people say, see y'all, and they cut this little clip out and say, see, right here, he said they better not take our guns. Dee-1 is racist because that sounds like a white man's voice. Man, miss me with all that, bro. With all that, because it's not that. The love is too deeply ingrained in the fabric of who I am to be trying to like hate on anybody. And you know, they got people out there, man, who like they are really bothered right now. They are really bothered. They borderline like obsessed with me, you know what I'm saying? And for real, crazy, bro. behind this, like they are really upset and obsessed. And my thing is like, once again, I have modeled for people who didn't know how you could have intelligent dialogue. It's not about rebuking someone because of who they are choosing to vote for. That's not a thing. That's false rhetoric right there in a person's head if they think that it's about rebuking someone. And if if we are in leadership positions, we should be able to model for people what it looks like to say, okay, we can disagree and we can still move forward. Yeah, so that's that. Especially when we got personal relationships with people, we got personal access to people. Yeah. Because you know, last thing I'm gonna say, I see some people be like, well, Dee-1, you called out Rick Ross, or you called out Jim Jones or Meek Mill or da. First of all, I didn't know them brothers personally. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, oh, I could just hit them directly on their line. And number two, like, it's okay if they are putting out music publicly, then if that's something where I'm just like, yo, this music, like the content of the music, it was crazy. Yeah, that's not an indictment on their spiritual character or their character of who they are as a person. If anything, it's me big up in them saying, I know y'all can do better than that, because I see character-wise that y'all are amazing men off the mic in so many different ways. So why does the music still end up being, you know, this? And that's that. And then people bring up the Lecrae stuff. Well, you called Lecrae. No, I actually didn't. I actually was minding my own business. You heard me? And he posted a video that he later deleted. You know what I'm saying? Tagging me in the video and talking about the righteous and ratchet stuff and da. And I was minding my business in Chicago airport. I had just performed at a festival. And I'm like, what he tagging me in this for? And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this dude just made a video, like, talking about me. You know what I'm saying? And some comments I made and tagging me in this video. So then and same thing, it's like, okay, you got access to me, and me reaching out to him and me asking him, like, would he want to talk? You know what I'm saying? I said this multiple times. It was documented publicly, and it wasn't something where, you know, he was trying to have that type of conversation. So that's where it's just like, hey, same thing.
How are you, man, like, dealing with all this? Like, I remember seeing a video where you, like, really teared up. Like, how are you dealing with all that? How are you feeling? Like, those attacks are real. So it's like, how you feeling? Like being real. Like, how are you feeling?
The video you talking about, it probably was during that Rick Ross time. Yeah. It was because I had just lost my grandpa like a month or so before that. Bro. And, you know, anybody who know me know, like, just how that relationship is with me and my grandpa. So he had just passed. So when all this was happening, I was on Instagram Live and I was fine, dog. I was fine. And then somebody came in them comments and was like, man, don't worry about none of these people. I know your grandpa is proud of you. And something about just reading that, you know what I'm saying? Something about just reading that and just being a month removed from him passing away had got to me, you know what I'm saying? And then even when I was on the Pivot podcast, I remember, and I had like teared up because I was reliving trauma in a real way where they asked me, what was your pivot point in life, period? And I just remembered, I'm just like, man, it was when sometimes I could talk about that stuff and it's all good, but for some reason at that time on that platform, like that stuff just hit me. So how am I? Like I'm honestly great, bro. Okay. Like honestly, like honestly, because I've been a well-liked dude my whole life, right? Yeah. Just naturally, not like I don't know how to go out my way to try to impress people, but naturally it's been like, oh, David, he a cool dude, we like him. He the captain of the basketball team, he the homecoming king in high school. He just a cool dude that people like. The thing is, getting into the rap game, you start to realize that the higher that you ascend, the more that people love you, but people also start to hate you, right? Yeah. So for me, realizing that, like, oh, I don't have a unanimous approval rating with people actually became something that's like a badge of honor, because if I master the art of being a people pleaser, chances are I'm not pleasing my Lord. You feel me? That's good. That's deep. And so when this type of stuff happens, I always have to check my heart, check my motives. Like, why are you doing what you do, saying what you say, D? And if it's a departure from what Christ would approve of or what Christ would want, then it's a thing where I gotta ask myself, okay, but this the thing people don't understand, bro. Like, I'm not hurting for no attention. I had a small bucket list of things that I wanted to do in this industry. I checked the last thing off the bucket list when I made it to the Breakfast Club. You heard me? Oh, wow. Like, just to be honest with you, bro, I've been famous since 2010 when my first music video ever went viral. Then I was on tour with Grand Hustle shortly after with T.I. With Killer Mike and Young Dro. T.I. was in jail. But like, it ain't he just trying to be famous. That's been for 15 years at this point. It ain't, he just trying to make it or whatever.
Yeah.
Been made it. It ain't, he just getting paid to go to the White House. The bag is always secure on this side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's to the point where I've created generational wealth by the grace of God through my blessings. You know what I'm saying? And that's without going in detail about what I got or what I don't have. So when people say all of that stuff, it really don't like impact me in a way that's sticking to me, because it's like, nah, like it ain't no clout chasing. It ain't I don't have no beef with nobody, bro. I don't have no beef with nobody, literally. But I just know that there's some people out here who is like, they spirit just feel different when you're around them. Some people in Christian hip hop, for example, got this heavy spirit of competition inside of them, to where like I thought we was cool from day one, but I really was just a puzzle piece in your game to try to ascend to where you trying to get. You know what I'm saying? That stuff kind of hurt me when I find that out about a person.
You seem to get frustrated by when Christians have alternate motives for why they do what they do. It seems like, I imagine it's really frustrating when people seem to be on your side when you were, going after the hip hoppers and all that, and then this happens with politics. Do you ever feel like, then why were they on my side for this if they're not with me on this?
No, all I see is that they showed their hand that when it comes to certain issues for them, and that issue should only be if D1 is out here praising Satan himself or denouncing that he loves Jesus Christ or that he is a believer, then at that point I ain't got nothing to tell D1. But even then, it shouldn't be I ain't got nothing to tell D1. It should be I'm still called to love on D1 because he could come back to the faith. You feel me? Truthfully. Like, man, I ran into my little brother, Rockstar JT, out here. I had just came back from Africa, fresh off the plane from Africa. I seen him, and he came up to me, and he was like, man, big bro. And he called me big bro because I went to his high school when he was in school in Montgomery, Alabama, bro, a high schooler. And I was doing the same work I'm doing now, speaking for the youth, performing, being a positive role model, you know what I mean, repping God first. And knew him ever since then. And I know he's had his ins and outs in terms of where he is, in terms of his faith and all that type of stuff. But when he saw me, he knew it was a safe space. And he was sweaty and it was 100 degrees outside. Man, I gave that boy the tightest hug he ever got in his life. And he told me that. He was like, nobody never hugged me that tight. And it's just because it's like in a real way, it's like, bro, you might, and we just talked about like some of his statements or stances on things or this, that, and the third. But because there's real love there, it ain't gonna be no, I gotta try to publicly out you or anything like that. So for me, it's just like my old student from back in Baton Rouge, Joe Scott, he said they hated on Jesus. So who are you for them to not hate on you? You know what I mean? And when he say that always sticks with me. So the more that the hatred comes or the disrespect or the I thought they had my back, but now they trying to disown me or publicly call me out, the more that comes from within the body of Christ, it just lets me know like we got work to do. You know what I'm saying?
And you're doing the right thing.
We got work to do.
So, and you're not alone, bro. Like I hope you don't feel that. Like sometimes I feel like when I watch you, I'm like, I hope he don't feel like he's alone.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, big brother. I feel like when people say you're not alone, sometimes I can't get mad at it because people got other obligations in their lives. But I feel like when the negativity and the hatred is like super loud and in all bold letters and all caps and people making these videos and all this stuff about me. Some old man, this man about 70 years old probably, just made a whole 5-minute video. I'm amazed that he know how to use technology this well, like for real. Because he got the Harvard emblem. I'm a fellow at Harvard University where I'm doing amazing work, repping for the kingdom up there, He's like, oh, D1, ever since he went to Harvard, and now he said who he voting for, like he's all this and that, all this, and he's Satanist and all this stuff. He's a big fraud. He been a fraud. All this stuff being said, I will say, bro, that I don't see people who be like, man, we finna come and have D1's back publicly.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like right there, like directly with the people that's trying to go at him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't see that as much.
Okay.
But I'm to the point where it's like, man, I don't need people. If they don't feel called, that might not be your calling is to be like, this person trying to talk crazy about D, I feel differently than they feel.
Yeah.
I'm about to come stand up for them. I can't get mad at you if you're not doing that. But sometimes it does create this mentality of like being like a one-man army.
Yeah.
God by
I mean,
my
you said
side.
that
So
years
no
ago.
man can harm me.
Yeah,
This is the story of a one-man army.
Yeah.
Because it's just people who it's like, I see some people who, I'm just going to put it all the way out there. Some people inside the Christian space who they'll try to align themselves next to me just so that they can kind of like position themselves to get some of the perceived shine or energy or attention that they see that I have, you know. And I know it. I know that energy. I feel that energy, man. Like, cause I didn't grow up in Christian hip hop or in, you know, I grew up on the east side of New Orleans, dog. Like I done seen it all. So I know the energy well, and I know that. I know people be slick competing, you know, some people, and I know the people who not slick competing, you know, and I love them and appreciate them. But they got certain artists who, they slick side competing with me. They got some artists who they feel a way that they feel like, dang, I feel like he done passed me up or whatever. I gotta try to, you know, take some. They think it's a formula to what I'm doing, so they're like, let me try to figure out the formula to and do my version of what D1 is doing. I got some people that say like, D, like, what you doing, man? You calculated this perfectly. I'm like, bro, none of this was planned. Like none of what is happening. So I see it all. I feel it all. And if I keep it 1,000 with y'all right quick, bro, I got a bone to pick with y'all, man. I got a bone to pick with y'all, bro.
Go ahead, let us know.
I've been on live supporting you and everything.
It ain't a bad bone. And me picking a bone with somebody ain't no, like, you know. So it's something that I legit internally go back and forth about. I feel like competition inside the Christian space is not healthy.
Okay.
All right? So I don't even, bro, I live on my own island, you heard me? Like, Birdman got Stunner Island, we just gonna call it Uno Island. Like, I live on my own island, bro, where I be in my own world, my own zone, focusing on the work I have in front of me. So I don't be seeing a lot of things, right? Like I actually know way less than people might think about current events and stuff that be going on. That being said, I think when I was in touch with y'all about, we was talking about me maybe coming up here for this, right? Somehow I stumbled across like a roundtable discussion y'all had where it was like D1 versus Currency, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Line for line.
Right, line for line, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so instantly when y'all say Currency, like that hold a special spot in my heart because we grew up across the street from each other in New Orleans, literally across the street. So that's like big bro to me, right? So then I went down a rabbit hole. I watched the whole episode. So the brothers that y'all had up here with y'all, who was they?
I have no idea.
It was like 3 dudes. Like they all seemed like they were like industry professionals of some sort.
I can go look back and look at it.
It was 3 dudes, right?
Yeah.
It was 3 dudes. And so every song y'all would play, y'all comparing my song to his song and da-da-da-da. And I just feel like overall, whether it's comparing Christians to other Christians, which I think, like, whether we talking about which pastor better, you know how people say who better, Kobe or LeBron, who better, Jordan or LeBron, da-da-da.
Yeah.
In the Christian space, I personally feel like we shouldn't be doing that stuff because I feel like that sets a precedent in the minds of fans to where there just starts to be this hierarchy and people can't even get on a song together no more without people saying who had the harder verse, who better, who killed who on the song, da-da-da. And we all supposed to be like, no, we're above that type of thinking as Christians. We're literally above that when we're doing God's work. It wasn't Jesus saying, so which one of y'all apostles is better than the other one and what's the hierarchy of apostles and all that stuff. So I think that stuff is dangerous, number one. Number two, when it happens with a Christian and, you know, I don't know where my dog Currency stand, you know, spiritually, what he would identify as. I know he has a great heart, you know what I'm saying? And that's my dude, for real. That being said, when I was like, wow, they comparing me to Currency and our songs and people playing it. There's no comparison when it comes to, I don't care how dope, and I'm talking about the dudes that was on here with y'all, because some of them, I think a couple of them was just really anti anything that played from D1. A couple of them. Yeah.
It was Dee-1, Plain, and Chris Elijah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so my thing is like, yo, we have this platform, and as believers, we should be to the point to where it's like, yo, we not even making room for people to come on here and insinuate there's something of the world there's not even worrying about trying to glorify God on any level could ever be seen as better than something that's like, it's using the same art form and it's clearly using that art form for what we know God would be impressed with. Like, this is why you should be using this talent of being an artist. So creating that space. Now, I did look at the whole thing and I won. You know what I'm saying? I saw.
I'm thinking you lost.
No. I won, but I wasn't impressed with the win. I wasn't patting myself on the back. Number one, because I know Shante Franklin, aka Currency, personally.
Yeah.
Number two, it made all of his fans just like probably hate D1, because I saw them in the comments like, how dare y'all even compare Currency to D1? Like, how da-da-da? What they don't realize is actually they got a lot of people that's saying, how dare y'all even compare D1 to a dude that's rapping about, you know, da-da-da. So I was just like, oh man, on multiple levels, because then that's my boy. Like, I could FaceTime him right now, you know what I mean? I know his mama, his daddy, his sister. So I was just like, okay, my dogs up here, y'all creating this space, you know what I mean, for this. And I was just like, dang, I see like the roof leaking in multiple places in terms of like the precedent that sets. And then I try to empathize, and I'll be like, okay, y'all are in media. In media, like, that's a dope discussion to have. Who not talking about what was better, Ether or Takeover? You know what I'm saying? Who not talking about what was better? Who's better, Lil Wayne or I don't know, back in the day, Joel Santana, you know, like I'm talking about when I was a kid coming up and people having these talks. So I get that, but then I just think that there's a fine line being in Christian media, and y'all ain't the only platform. Y'all probably, I feel like other platforms do this. I feel like I told the dudes from, what's it called? The crew hip hop. I feel like I got on their platform and told them the same thing. You heard me? Like, all fairness. I don't know if Rapzilla be doing that or not. You know, I don't keep up enough to know, but all of y'all is my people. You know what I'm saying? Even if somebody is like, I don't like D's music that much, or I don't like this, I don't like that. With that being said, just food for thought. Just something I wanted to put out there, and it's something to where I would like to even know y'all heart behind it, because I empathize. It's like being a DJ. Like, I just had to perform at the Conference for African American Financial Professionals the other day, right? It was an all-white party. So you got people who manage wealthy clients' money for a living, right? All there. And it's a DJ who DJ'd. He's not like a Christian DJ or whatever, but he's a dude who I could tell he is just like a grown professional, not on no foolishness, just a grown man in every sense of the word, right? But I realized that when you DJ, it can be tough if you feel like, dang, I got to get the people what they want, you know?
Got you.
Giving the people what they want, though, is also what Pontius Pilate did. When it came to handing over Jesus. I feel like I got to give the people what they want. We should never get to the point where we are saying, I'm going to give the people what they want, to the point where it might mean I'm compromising on, you know, what God has given me this leadership position to do, whether you're a DJ, whether you're in media, or whether you're an artist. You know what I'm saying? If I was giving people what they want, I would not be rapping about what I rap about.
I'm glad you brought this up. You're not the first person who said what you said. We've had this conversation many times before. Do you know how it started? We've been doing it for 18 years. You know how it started?
Y'all had this show for 18 years? 18 years. Boy, I know you lying. You serious? That's gangster.
So we've had several conversations. We had the same conversation with who?
Cannon,
Swoop,
Dizzle,
all of them.
Okay.
So
Belief.
let me tell you. And we've had same critique. The reason why we do it is when we started back in 2006? 2006. We had an episode. I think Ryan was out of town. We had 4 hours. We were on Clark Atlanta. 4 hours, Clark Atlanta student-run station. So we were trying to kill time. And I remember saying something to Jeremiah And at the time we had crates, right? So we were going through CDs, and he had like, flip book full of CDs. And I remember saying something to him like, or you said something to me that you said Canton Jones was better than R. Kelly. I think that was the first argument we had. And I was like, Canton Jones is better than R. Kelly. And we love Canton Jones. I was like, in my mind, I never would have imagined that a Christian artist could have been better than a mainstream artist. To me, mainstream means you good, Christian means you on your way. You know what I mean? That's how I saw it. He pulled out his crate of CDs and said, I'm gonna prove it to you. He put in, I would play a R. Kelly song. This is bad. This didn't age well now, but I pulled out an R. Kelly song. He pulled out a Canton Jones song. I was like, okay, that was dope. That was good. I put out another one. He put out another one. I was like, yo, maybe I'm wrong about this. This dude is good. And what we realized, because we had somebody on the phone with us, and they were realizing the same thing I was realizing, that I had a bias towards mainstream. I assumed mainstream means good. And him proving that to me that day, I wanted other people to experience that. Because there's a lot of people. There was another situation, because we do music as well. And I remember giving a CD to a young man it was at a flag football game. He looked at it, he was like, this Christian hip hop, threw it on the ground. I was like, wow, he just because it was Christian hip hop, threw it on the ground. Another time we took a song up to Radio 1. You know when they do the thing where they play Digga the Dish It. They put it on, the DJs played it.
Wait, what you just said?
Digga the Dish It.
Dig it.
You remember Hot 107.9?
Oh, my ears. That's like that Donald Trump statement. You hear me? That's like that I'm not Christian statement. I'm like, what this dude just stayed on live?
He comfortably cussing.
Right. Okay.
Dig it or dish it. So we played the song for him. They were like, yo, this is really good, but I see you trying to sneak that Jesus stuff in here. Like, what? So this mentality, it can't be good if it's Christian. So we started doing these line for lines where we would compare the two artists and say, because the point of it is, it's not for the Christians. It's for the people in the world to say, you think so-and-so is just default good. Give them a try. Give them a try. And we did it over and over again. People just started like, wow, I can't believe this. People who would say, oh, I would never listen to Christian hip-hop, Dee-1, nothing. They listen and be like, okay, I'll give them that round. I'll give them that round. Like, okay, so we open up their eyes to something that they didn't even know existed. So we've heard the criticism. We had to weigh it like, I know a lot of Christians don't like it because they feel like we shouldn't even compare. I know you had a story similar to that as well. We did a line for line with her as well. And we saw the benefit of it, opening people's eyes to an alternative, a godly alternative they had no idea existed, was worth some of the backlash we got. And a lot of the artists that we kind of explained why we started doing this, they're like, oh, I see why you're doing this. Not everybody. Some people still don't like it, like, hey, don't do another one with me. Like, okay, no problem. We never did one again. But we just saw how powerful it was. And I'm telling you, we've done this in a room full of kids. I can't remember which one that was.
It was like years ago.
Years and years ago. We did a room full of kids. And seeing them, kids that never knew anything about Christian hip hop, they voting for the Christian. Like, oh, yeah, where's that? How can I get that one? That was worth it to us.
What about when they don't vote for the Christians?
See, the way we look at it is gift is gift, talent is talent, right? What we're trying to show people is you can use your gift for yourself or you can use it for God. A song, somebody could be gifted at hip hop, but they're using it for themselves. I want to show you a gifted person that's using it for God. They're not going to win every round. Some songs are better or worse than the other song. That doesn't matter. But I guarantee you're going to vote for one of their songs. You would have never thought you would have voted for a Christian hip hop artist. So we just see it as, man, it's worth the exposure for the Christian artists to that demographic.
Yeah.
We might be wrong.
Word. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, once again, I feel like when I saw my name included in it, I feel like for people that wandered their way to y'all page that were already Currency fans, it made them be like, we actually don't rock with Dee-1 more after this, because the audacity that people kept voting for Dee-1 over our king, you know what I'm saying? And it made it to where that bias that y'all talk about, they are just like, oh, the name Dee-1 is associated with like the audacity that people thought he was better than our dog Currency and that type of energy. And I was just like, I think it's worth thinking about. There's obviously something golden there in terms of like, oh, it's a chance for exposure or for people to see another side. And maybe it's not like because when you leave it open for voting, as opposed to saying, we're going to show you an alternative version of this. So we're going to play this artist, and then we're going to show you somebody who in our opinion, give us that same feel or that same energy, but look how they using their talent to glorify God. You know, maybe that right there is showing people, as opposed to saying, I'm giving you a Big Mac, which you're used to eating, and then I'm gonna give you a spinach burger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let you choose which one you want. Man, give me that Big Mac every time. Oh, I'm glad you let me know that spinach burgers exist, because I ain't even know they exist. You know what I'm saying? But, man, give me that Big Mac. You hear me? And I feel like I saw that playing out in first person, because the dudes y'all had up here, too, no matter what. Bro, they was finding any reason to not like my songs, bro. One dude was like, nah, I just feel like he, in the song, I don't like when Christians be aggressive in their music. It was the song Lukewarm, you know? And y'all was like, I don't think he talking about nobody in particular. Like, he just saying, like, about people being lukewarm. Nah. And other dudes like, nah, bro, like, just this other song, he just rapping too slow, or he rapping too fast, or he rapping, like, what are y'all talking about, bro? So, so me just seeing that, it's like, there's obviously gold there to showing people that there are alternatives, because you're right, some people don't know that alternatives exist to what they're already consuming. I gotta give y'all that. It shocks me that some people literally don't know that alternatives exist. But there's also two types of artists that are Christians, right? There's the artist that is a Christian that is literally like, hey, my goal is to be the Christian version of some mainstream artist out there. And we've seen that. And then there's the artist that's Christians that's just like, yo, like, I am just me. I am literally just me. And it ain't that I am trying to be the Christian version of this artist or anything. I'm literally just me, and that alone is enough to stand on its own. And I think that that's powerful as well, because even with me, you know, I get the question a lot, like D1, I went on Breakfast Club, and the first question DJ Envy asked me really caught me off guard. D1, so why they call you a Christian rapper? Because I don't see you as a Christian rapper. You know, I just view you as like an artist who you love God, but you know, you got a positive message or a progressive message in your music. Why they call you a Christian rapper? You know what I mean? And my thing is, I have seen some people who have been called Christian rappers, or who have kind of like carve that lane out to where that's what they have been for the longest, and clearly, you know, they didn't want to be that no more. So then it's like, oh, I'm not a Christian rapper, I'm da-da-da. That always felt very icky to me, and came across kind of like you're trying to micromanage what people view you as, you know what I'm saying? That came across a little icky, a little insecure to me, right? When I've seen that in the past. For me, it's always just been like, man, when you consume my content, whatever it speaks to you as, then that's what I am to you. You know what I'm saying? Or to you, or to you, based on you consuming my content. So I think that in this space, like, there's this rise. Y'all, you know, you go on Instagram now, and it'll be like somebody have a video, and the headline that they put on the video is like Christian rap, you know, Christian rap that makes you just feel good about your mental health or something, or like, you didn't know Christian rap could get this lit. Some people are really like, I want to embrace, like, to the fullest, that this is Christian rap and this is an alternative to that other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's some people's way that they push themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all have an opinion on that. I personally don't think that that's bad if that's how people want to brand and market themselves. Me personally, I didn't start out doing it like that, you know? So it's also a thing. My thing is like, y'all comparing me to Currency. Me and Currency probably about to have a song together. You know what I'm saying? And for like people making it seem like this the alternative to this, or this the alternative to a Fredo Bang. They both from Louisiana. Man, we got music together. You know what I'm saying? So when they make it seem like this the righteous version, and this is the, you know, the worldly version of Louisiana rappers, because we both from New Orleans, me and Currency, it was just like, like
yeah, we did one years ago with you and Wayne. We did you and Wayne a couple times, and we got positive feedback from that. Like yo, dude, he get busy, man. I'll listen to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? We get what you're saying. We understand the fact what you're saying and stuff like that. But it's no ill will here. Maybe you felt something from the guys, and even for them. We don't want people to lie, though. That's the thing, too. We rather you be honest and be like, I like that Currency record a little bit more than D1.
Answer this one for me, bro. It gets to the point to where when it comes to giving an opinion on music, right? I honestly feel like I ask myself would God be sitting in heaven saying, right? And I think that no matter how dope a rapper is, God will be like, I'm not impressed if you're not using that gift to glorify me. I'm simply not impressed. So all of but he's so lyrical, his flow, God will just be like, I am absolutely, that's like God saying, I'm impressed with somebody that is doing Satan's work, but he's just real good at it. I never saw no compliments in the Bible where God was like, yeah, you a beast, but just stop using it to serve the beast. You know what I mean? Just use it to serve me. I never saw no compliments given when people ask me about Charleston White a lot. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, same thing. Like, if your lens in which you view a community activist stops right there at like who's somebody that's trying to help the community and do positive things, then you'll see a lot of positive things that you could say about a Charleston White or whatever. But if your lens is what would Jesus do, Jesus never had to do things that glorified evil or negativity in order to accomplish his God-given mission.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So when it comes to comparing music, I think God is pleased with the corniest rap that is glorifying him more than he is pleased with the upper echelon top rap in the world, top selling rap that is not glorifying him.
Yeah, that's a good look.
God will be like, give me that, because I could work with that right there. You heard me? We got to work on your heart over here. We ain't got to work on your flow or your lyrics, but we got to work on your heart. But your heart is in the right place. Man, God don't, what they say, he don't qualify the called. He don't wait. He don't call the qualified. He qualified the called. You heard me? Yeah. So with that being said, if God has put it on a person's heart, like I know who I'm serving with my gift, then at the end of the day, he'll qualify you. He'll have that same person that y'all was calling corny, you know, that they or not y'all, but that people was calling corny or saying, well, they just ain't got it. God is like, man, watch how I could use you just because who you was willing to use your gift to glorify. That's my thoughts.
I got you.
You disagree?
Yes. Yeah. No, just because I think when you rap, like it's obvious that you know how to put bars together. Yeah. Right? There's people who don't.
Yes.
What we're also trying to encourage people is you can get better at this. Like this is the analogy I'll use. Yeah. When somebody gets up at the Apollo, right? And they can't sing. They get booed off, the guy, you know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 get out of stage. If they sing about Jesus, they get about 10 more seconds. They'll still get pulled. But there's like a respect for Jesus. You know what I'm saying? What we're trying to do is say, you don't lean on that respect for Jesus factor. You can actually get better at this. You could be so good that when they want to choose to listen to Wayne or Dee-1, it's not because, I just love Jesus more. No, this dude is just as good. There's no reason to listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're just encouraging the artists there's a lot of artists that listen to our show. They want to be in your position. They want to be in Lecrae's position, all this kind of stuff. We want you to make sure you get your character right, but we also want you to get good at this. There's actually a skill to this, right? And I think the better you get at it, the more impact you can have in the world. You happen to be good at it, so you don't have this problem. There's some people that aren't good at it. There's some people that aren't good at it, and they need work. So we like, okay, maybe you want to mix that a little bit different. Maybe you want to make sure hit the beat when you rap it. You know? There's all kinds of problems. So we use it as a way to say, don't just lean on the fact that people love Jesus and they'll give you an extra couple seconds. Get good. And this is how you get good.
Right.
And we'll say this too, content is not a part of it. Like the actual content that you spit is just the delivery. It's the bars. It's the production. That's all we've ever actually voted on.
And that's the part. I think that God is like, man, the content matters more to God than any of the aesthetic stuff. Like, oh wow, look at his vocal inflection, or look at that look at that punchline he put together. I think in God's eyes that he is looking at it like, long as you're doing the best with what you have to work with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The biggest compliment I ever received from some random person, I can't even remember their screen name, is one day I remember looking online and they were like, yo, Dee-1 maximizes the heck out of what he was blessed with. You know what I mean? Meaning like that don't mean that I'm the best this or the most that, but they were like, this dude maximizes what he was given more than anybody I have ever seen. Like to stretch himself to be in education, in hip hop relevant, in the church, in the streets, you know, in politics, like all that stuff. He just maximizes what he was given. And that compliment just hit way different than saying D1 better than this rapper. D1, you know,
So what do you think makes you great at rap?
What makes me great or anybody? Me. What makes me great?
Yeah.
I think that I have the ability to like pull emotions out of listeners based on them hearing my music. And I got different bags I could dip into. It's like, oh, we got to do the lyrical bag? Bet. Check out any of my freestyles on Sway in the Morning. You know what I'm saying? Does D1 have that bag? Whoosh, he definitely has that bag. You know what I'm saying?
What's in the bag? How do you know what you pulled out was good?
How do I? Well, I mean, public opinion. But it's not being compared to other people who dipped into a whole different bag.
He reached in the bag and was poo.
If
Some people reach in the bag and they pull out poo.
Right. So how do we nurture that, brother? As leaders, I don't think we nurture that by saying this person who's rapping for the world is better than you, and the public voted on that. And then you don't let people vote who aren't like in our space, and they the ones who got a say so on what's better. Of course they gonna be biased towards, just like y'all biased towards us. Y'all better be biased towards us. They gonna be biased.
Majority of the time it is biased towards the Christian.
And the online vote, they was mad when y'all did the comparison with me, because the online vote, they had me every time. You heard me? And them dudes was getting mad. Like, no, how he keep winning? No, because this is my home turf. Y'all are the away team right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing, is like, we setting it up though to where, what if it wasn't me, and what if it was another artist, and they was genuinely like, yo, even online, if they was like, nah, dude, like, we gonna give it to the worldly person every time. That now makes this Christian artist who has decided to use their gift to glorify God. You never forget that L, you heard me? You never forget that L. I remember PE basketball games in high school to this day that I lost. PE basketball. Like, you don't forget L's, dog. You don't forget L's.
Get a L,
No, I didn't. I'm talking about hypothetically if it was another artist. My thing, I didn't get a W either, in my opinion.
Because
I didn't feel like I accomplished something by having people say,
winning, by beating him.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm only trying to beat Satan, and Currency is not Satan.
Oh, got you.
I'm not competing with no other rappers. So for all the Christian rappers who be wanting to try to compete, and they constantly stay on my pages and watch everything I do, and people who, you know, I hear behind the scenes what they be saying, and they trying to figure out how he got on this, or I think I'm better than him, and da-da-da. Bro, I'm not your competition, my G. We are teammates, and we got one common enemy. And I know the energy from a mile away because of where I come from. So ain't none of y'all slick. You heard me? And I still love y'all, but just know that I know. You feel me? And then people want to be like, oh, why you don't reach out? Why you don't holler no more? Man, because I know what it is. Like, this is all just a calculated, strategic relationship in your eyes to try to get something that you want that I have. You can't take my authenticity, though. You can't. You can't study it. You can't duplicate it. You can't. Even when stuff don't make sense for me, it still end up making sense. Because God just got me like that.
I love that.
So that's just what I'm on, bro. My 12th album of my career, Loaded, is dropping on August 21st. And once again, it's like, D, you saying all this, but then I also came out publicly and was like, hey, guys, my goal for this album is to see if we could debut at #1 in the world, right? On the iTunes charts, just because I never did it before, right? Do I need that? No, bro. Like, I'm already immensely blessed. I don't need that. And you might be like, well, that's a worldly, trophy that you're trying to win or accomplishment. But I feel like the statement that it makes for people in the world to be like, we know what kind of business D1 standing on. It's that kingdom business all day. And him going against the grain so much so and being so bold about it, came out and debuted #1 in the world, that make a statement that help all of us. You know what I'm saying? Independent, by the way, 100% independent. So we #2 in the world in pre-orders right now. The album comes out in 4 days or 5 days, August 21st. Man, go pre-order that thing on iTunes if y'all could. You heard me? Like, I mean that. I mean that. For real. Go pre-order that thing on iTunes for anybody listening, for anybody in this room. You heard me? Just because, for me, all this is just victory laps at this point, man. Victory laps meaning like, bro, I got my mental health, I got monetary wealth, and I got my message intact. I know who I'm serving, right?
Amen.
In the rap game, and I got longevity. Like, all this is victory laps at this point. I'm just looking for new things to be like, to keep me excited and inspired. But I am in love with this platform, because this platform that we have as public figures who are using it to glorify God, this helps us to make impact at scale. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the unsung heroes that's doing what we do. They just don't have the platform we have. We need y'all too. We need y'all as well.
Yeah.
But at this point, man, like it worked, man. I remember when I quit my job as a middle school teacher, and I was like, is this gonna work out? Like, is this a me mission? So my first, if you go back and look at all my albums, my first album that ever came out, right? The first bars on my first album, if I ain't supposed to rap God, please let me know. But if I'm supposed to rap God, please let me blow. If I don't sell a lot of units, I ain't stressing. If I don't sell here, I'm going platinum in heaven. You hear me? I prayed for this not to work out if this wasn't what God wanted. And all these years later, a decade and a half later, it must be what God wanted. Because it didn't work out. You feel me? It's worked out, bro.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, go pre-order. Trying to get you to win that number one spot. We voting for you.
Thank you, bro.
No, but seriously, make sure you get that thing to number one. It makes a huge difference when people start to see, hey, because the message I see is that, hey, I don't got to rap about that nonsense to do well at this stuff. Look at D. Look at all these people. They not compromising and they still winning.
That part.
That's it.
That part.
That's it.
That's it, bro. Man, I love y'all, man.
Yes,
Look, y'all know, let's just keep it 100. In the podcast space now, just for people listening who don't know how this go, man, they got so many podcasts, so many platforms. It's everything from some people be paying to be on podcasts to some people get paid to be on podcasts. Man, with this, y'all know how organic this is. This is just me. Like hitting y'all like, bro, like this ain't no, well, we gonna fly you out? We gonna flew you out and do this, da. Nah, man, it's like, I appreciate the
D's been rocking with us for several years. I mean, you could go back. This is about
Flavor Fest.
It's about the fifth interview.
Flavor Fest 2014 type stuff.
Dee-1 that made the wall, the picture wall.
Literally.
Some people in here that are in the wall as well. Man. Like this family, man. So we appreciate you. Make sure, take them off the list, the line for line. I hope you got that message. Don't do them again. Jeez.
Bro, listen. I can't tell y'all what to do, man. My thing is like, if y'all want to put me on line for line, I can't stop y'all from it. I just was looking at line for line in general and being like, is line for line in general something that could just be tweaked?
Yeah.
And maybe become something even more dope. But just
we honestly, we've gotten some feedback that we really genuinely take to heart. There was one that really rocked us. We actually changed I'm gonna make you do the little intro thing in a second. But there was a young man that said, hey, I got daughters. They don't even know about Jay-Z and them. So when you guys do line for line, you're exposing them to the other one. Yeah. And we were like, oh my God, we don't want to do that. So we literally take that stuff in and we respond to it. Yeah. We even so do the thing that you say at the beginning of the He's got it down like this now. Yeah.
Well, I said at the beginning of yours, so it's the views and opinions of the Trackstarz and the Trackstarz Universe are not the views and opinions of the artist, the label, producer, and others. If you feel offended by this, please press stop now. If you're a person who only listens to Christian artists, ain't your cup of tea. We understand we have react videos, topics, interviews you can go check out. We're not copying any battle formats. We've been doing this since the 2000s. Dee-1 is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit.
So we really respond. We take it seriously because we're not doing this to blow up or nothing like that. Yeah. We really just saw the impact of when kids find out that there's something else. Some people don't even know. I mean, like, literally don't even know Christian hip-hop exists. Christians that do hip-hop exist. So we take all that feedback. We're listening. We're listening.
Yeah.
I appreciate the feedback. So just know that is not.
Yeah, this is dope, bro. I don't want nobody to be extra unnaturally like for me, because I don't want anybody to be extra unnaturally against me either. I just want people to be like, man, all we can judge D on is just what we see from him and what we feel and discern from him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just it. And I got enough people in the world that are automatically against me because they feel like I'm challenging what they are so attached to in terms of the type of music that they are, so firmly attached to. That my thing is just like, man, life is just it's just crazy, bro. We just gotta I don't know, bro.
Can we get some bars from you? Because every time you came up here, you giving us some
I had spit some bars for real.
Every time.
God, dog.
Every time.
Now y'all might have to
last
pay,
time you
man.
saw me, you was like, "Yo, what's up? What's up with the whole?" So I'm like, "You don't have to, man."
Really? I mean, why not? Why
Okay.
not? Yeah.
He already ready.
I got the beat ready.
Oh, you got a whole beat ready.
This was not playing.
Oh.
By me. This is by him.
Oh yeah. Look, this on my album Loaded, you heard me? About to drop August 21st, you heard me? This is called Love, Lukewarm. Huh. People claim to do God's work, but they steady turning more lukewarm. Y'all old heads, not baby Christians. Stop acting like y'all newborns. Wanna feel cool, wanna be accepted. Y'all a lot of line and y'all a lot of touch. Y'all ain't street, them stories all made up. Whoa, they need a powder puff. Some say I shouldn't speak up. Real ones tell me I ain't speaking loud enough. Cats putting money over ministry. I see a long list that keep piling up. Even being saved is a business move for some of y'all. Man, you wildin', bruh. Fists in the name of God, best believe I want all the smoke. Don't know how to duck, I'm powered up. New Orleans, my city, just landed in Philly. The home of Meek Millie and Wallow and Gilly. I feel like I'm floating, the angels are with me. Gritty, not grimy, ain't never been slimy. Ever God need me, that's where you gon' find me. Constantly serving his people, therefore if I need them, I got me an army behind me. Okay, they demons irritated by my spirit. I know I'm anointed, that's why I'm fearless. I'ma need all of the fans to hear this. Some people reach the folk in the church, but they not satisfied with that feeling. They doing God's work, but then they get bored or feel like they hit a ceiling. Then they wanna go mainstream, start changing their message to water it down. Selfish ambition is taking over, it's a business decision. Follow me now. Then when that experiment don't work, it's right back to the church. Some people just playing the game. Truth hurts, and they play it well, rep. And they good people, yep. And I pray our Father, deliver us from evil. God knows our hearts, Woody. Some of these fans ain't smart, Woody. This real life, this authentic, this here the state of the art, Woody. Woody. That's good, man. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
I know I be all over the place sometimes, but I wanted to direct the energy back to Loaded, the album. So that is on the album. You heard me?
That's what's up.
Yeah, because I just want people to know social media and all that and content, that stuff is cool. Yeah. But is that music banging?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen to the album.
We're going to get you to #1. I believe we can do it.
You think so, bro?
I believe we can do it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm on your broadcast channel, so I see where people vote. When you ask who all knows about the album coming out, and it seems like it's more people that know that don't know. So I mean, that's
for sure, man. We gonna see what happens, brother, and it's all good either way. But ain't nothing wrong with setting a goal and putting it out there. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Man, I'm grateful for y'all. Let me see anything else going on.
You got way more going on that we could get to today.
For real, yeah. Man, this time be flying. I love y'all. I truly do love y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all, and
we got your back, bro.
Yeah.
Straight
up.
If you don't see the comments, we praying for you, and we proud of you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
So proud of you, my son.
Yes, straight up. And to anybody out there, any Christians who might really feel like they were let down or disappointed by finding out that I said I'm not voting for Donald Trump, and that I said no, like seriously, or that that it's like, how could you say you're gonna vote for a Democrat, Dee-1, and how could you do this? Listen, I still love you, and I don't say that sarcastically. I genuinely still love y'all, and I still know that we got the big man in common, which is we are serving Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
And I promise I'm down to continue to build and continue to make sure that we don't have to start tearing apart each other's character and spiritual character publicly and hurling these insults about who we are spiritually and calling each other Satanists and all this stuff. That's not what it's about, and I mean that sincerely.
Yeah, we should be able to disagree and still love each other. If we're really brothers and sisters,
if we really are,
we should be able to disagree, have conversations, work it out. But as long as all of our attention is geared towards following Jesus, I could be wrong, you could be wrong, you could be wrong. Right. We're all interested in being right for God.
Yeah.
So we can have the discussion, because I'm interested to see where I'm wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody should be working on, okay, God, show me. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? And I think that's why we love doing this show, because we have so many good discussions on this show where we work things out together. We figure it out. We had a great conversation recently. We were talking about, the issue men and women are having like this seems like a battle going on between men and women. And we had such a good conversation when we worked it out. We looked at scripture. We figured out what the Greek and the this and the that. That's what I really believe the body should be coming together. And it should be, especially during this season, we should be coming together on politics so that we could figure out what does God want us to do. Who does God want us to vote for? That's what I'm praying for. So I'm glad you're speaking out, you're calling people towards independence away from these parties. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you.
And
man.
independence doesn't mean that you don't have to vote. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And here's the other thing. We can have this dialogue, but when trust has been breached, and if people call you out publicly and want to indict your spiritual character publicly, and then they're willing to apologize privately, and saying, but we could talk, it's all good. It's like, no, you should be able to apologize publicly as well. When you want to publicly indict somebody's spiritual character. It's different between saying, yo, I disagree with who this person wanted to vote for, versus making an assertion that this person is out of the spirit of God, or this person is just trying to appeal to black people more than they trying to appeal to God's kingdom. So when you indict somebody's spiritual character publicly, but then privately you apologized for it, then you should be able to apologize publicly. And if you're not willing to apologize publicly, then don't try to come out with this, oh, I want to talk, and this person just ducking me and don't want to talk to me and whatever. No, that person don't trust you. That person see that you want clicks and content more than you want conversation.
That makes sense.
You hear me? Oh, no, it make a lot of sense. It make dollars, it makes sense, it make everything. Trust me. So it's just that simple, bro. People be like, this manipulation of like, oh, I'm going to spin this narrative this time. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Because before these cameras came on, everybody in here agreed with that. So, I just put y'all out there.
I don't want to breach anything we said before, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I do hope that we can all get together, even the ones that may be not on the right path. You know what I'm saying? I pray that we all get together. No matter what somebody's ulterior motives are, if we're really brothers and sisters, let's all get back on the same page, man.
Man,
all of us.
Look, dog, if you tell me off air, D, you came on air and you said that the what's the comparison thing called? Line for line. D, you came on air, and not only did you say you wasn't really a fan of line for line, but you said on air in front of people that like you think that means that I'm in the world too much, and you think that means that I'm lukewarm and da 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 da. If you came to me and was like, D, like, in terms of making an indictment on my spiritual character publicly, like that stuff hurt me, brother. And if I say, man, I apologize to you, you're going to be like, I appreciate that apology, but you said it publicly, D. You said it publicly, indicted my spiritual character, dog. D, I feel like you should apologize publicly. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you saying that you want to talk to me moving forward in front of everybody and all that. And I would have to be like, bro, that makes perfect sense. Like, why would I not be willing to go and publicly say, you know what,
I shouldn't have done that.
I wasn't wrong for disagreeing with line for line, but I shouldn't have made this a whole indictment. I see all the fruit from this man's walk.
Right.
You heard me? Like, I rock with this dude. Like, literally. Like, so just because I ain't like line for line, I had to call him this and say this and da da da. That's all that is, brother.
Hopefully the message landed.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't sniff, I don't pop pills. I don't even curse up in my music, but it's hot still. I'm all in the hood and I ain't even strapped. Simba, Burrito, they lying in they raps. You heard me?
Yes,
people
sir.
Be lying, bro. People be getting on this internet. They be lying in they raps, boy, for real. Making it seem like it's some, ain't nobody ducking. Come on, man. It's called the order of operations. When I was a math teacher, it's an order of operations. Multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. It's just order of operations in life. That's how stuff go, man. If we truly care about relationships and not just algorithmic, come ups and trying to get people canceled or paint people as Satanists or, all that type of stuff. So that's all, man.
I'm checking the comments now.
Oh, they have people watching this?
I'm wondering if one person in particular is watching.
Word. Yeah. Upset. You a fan. You heard me? For real.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Man.
All right.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Man.
Yeah,
we
thank
appreciate you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
that.
sir.
Man, it's a blessing.
I try not to fire you up.
Yeah, you did a good job, bro.
I tried my best.
It's just like, I'm not good at avoiding
Talking around it,
Yeah, correct. And that's all that is.
You did a good job. I'll say that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Because
absolutely.
it's icky to me just seeing, like, in the Christian space. Like, right now, bro, I posted a video yesterday about just saying, yo, we need to be careful not to say God told me, right?
I saw that.
When and bro, I'm talking about God, and people coming in my comments talking about politics.
Because they already associated.
Already. But so now that I have seen the division inside of Christianity, and I'm speaking about how to cure the division, people can't get over the inhibition in their mind that makes them say, but he's voting for a different political candidate than me, so I just can't get past that with anything that he says. Like, yeah, so shout out to all the people who have emotional maturity.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
All right, we catch you way past when we promised, so we'll let you get out of here. We're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break. Let you head out. Line for line up next. You in the field with the track. Let's go. I'm serious. It is. It actually is.
Everybody always asks me what that stand for. Most underrated rapper alive. Exquisite views, Caribbean cruise, water extra blue. Jesus clean me up, but sometimes you still see the residue. Zero tolerance for disrespect, that's why I give it first. Set the standard in my residence, that's right, I live it cursed. I can show you better than I can tell you in song form. Slightly buttered rolls, keep the tongues warm. There's topics where I'm torn. Some issues just ain't black and white, I'm sure. It's 50 shades of gray in the Bible pages that I've sworn to give it honest depiction of the crucifixion. We confident he died, buried, rose, and lived. So true submission's ultimately is how I choose to sway. Ask the Lord if I should keep that iron on me. Please don't make me prove if I obey. It's a tidal wave. Don't waste time gripping umbrellas, man. Tripping on another plane. Victory is sweeter than sugar cane. I'm able to book a plane and fly exotic. Came a long way, used to drink hurricanes, get high and vomit consequences. Been stressing, I've learned some monster lessons. Cost of blessings higher than meth, mixed with some fentanyl. Heaven called, asked me to bring the kingdom here on earth. I'm just busy trying to let both my daughters hear they worth. Clear the church, all the part-time Christians need a dip. Proper representation, no need to skip. Legends know my name. I stood side to side with some of the best in the game. Overcame a lot of sin, lust of cocaine. Had plenty homies I beef with, and it's strange. Those are ones that I could call on when it rained. Almost overdosed when I was out chasing fame. Never underestimate the power of your shame. Rosary refused to travel, dying equal change. You witnessing me letting several lines out the cage. Jag seeds beige with the matching J's. Hall of Fame Negro, call me Satchel Paige. Songs futuristic, so they tell me at your age. Honestly, might be the hardest rapper out the age. Check the resume if that boy got you feeling strange. Stats say your haters born at least 11 times a day. Don't be a statistic, homie, it's a better way. I'm tired of being overlooked like a balcony. Conquer choices I regret. Do some candy on the frame. Maplewood inside the vet. Desperation in my spirit. Sand inside the hourglass, disappearing. Kick some people out my light, but my battle was with the spirit. Flesh and blood, never been a struggle. We about to bubble. Wipe the dust off my knuckles. Not my will, his will. Son like Russell. About to sprout like Brussels. What the rap game missing? I'm that piece to the puzzle. Got the pot, I'm the clay. Yay, bold and I'm golden 24K. Entrepreneur, Draymond Green. I got no J.
To your city, I'ma shut it down. Christ like when I write, ain't gon' dumb it down. We make it mainstream, impact from the underground. Yeah, who gon' say something? Who gon' try to play with my guy like it's nothing? Who gon' say something? Light up the way when we turn
You know, grown fastest up when they protesting us. But if God told me go, there ain't no stress enough. Me in the big league, God put me young cause he could trust me. Trust me, I did not make it this far with just me. I'm not fitting in with the industry, but I touch me. But my father's been his lieutenant inside a company. Why would I stress? Why would I act like I'm not blessed? Now, why would I stress? Why would I act like I'm not blessed, bro? I'ma just boost it up, boost it up, boost it up, boost it up. You should know we going dumb.
It's EG. Miles hit me like what's up, bruh. Jump in the car, pull up the doors, we gotta huddle up. Man, all these Christians mad at Christians need to shut it up. It might just be that calling us out as a cover up. I heard this thing and had to say yes. I was reminded how we grinded in the days past. And we ain't grow up with no butler, we was made less. And what you know about back to school shopping that pay less. That's why I'm tapping in with Feeny, I need 2 pair. If you don't live for God, you weenie, you a Pooh Bear. And if you think we done H&W, you finna trouble. You we knocking at the gates of hell, they scared, they be like, who there? Who there? I ain't lying either, why would I? We from the Bay, they think it's tons when we say yada da. We turn in 2024 into 2020 glow. If you don't know it now, you know we finna run it up, run it up.
Why would I stress? Why would I act like I'm not blessed? Now, why would I stress? Why would I act like I'm not blessed, bro? I'ma just boost it up, boost it up, boost it up, boost it up. You should know we going dumb. Yeah, hey, fresh off a tour, bro, I'm ready for the sermon. Every chance I get, I gotta make it back to service. I'm just trying to listen to the preacher, but here come the deacon who be asking for a feature. God, 1,000 creatures take over your pocket lot. Jesus took the wheel, I used to walk a lot. Just a little west side, try to get a little slide test. My God, nah, why would I Christ like? Living in a movie and his life like. Come and take a look at what my life like. Walking by my faith and not the eyesight.
What you won't do for love. You've tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love.
Let me introduce you to a love that'll never fail. In any difficult situation will never bail. I got Jehovah on my team and I will never trail. Sending demons back to hell and I never have to yell. You see, I know my God, he see you when you cry at night. But if you call him, he gon' make everything alright. See, I used to be a soldier and battling was right for me. But I'm a son now, angels gon' fight for me. And I'll do what you tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love. Do what you tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me.
What you won't do for love. You've tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love.
Confused the lust for love and embraced the block. Felt the hate return, so turned and gave it to Yah. Now the bond is unbreakable. Like the psalmist in 16:8, I experienced a peace unshakable. Now a warrior for the most high, bodies a living sacrifice. Pray my change is acceptable to the one who saved us through Christ. Love ain't just a heartfelt verb. Only death can separate you from it when aligned with the word.
What you won't do for love. You've tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love.
Gospel gangsters, we arose from the gutter, never came soft. I gave my life to Christ and the others, they ran off. Was on the block, tipsy turvy, sipping the bourbon. Found it was a heaven for G's. Glad Nip
MC heard me. Love conquers all in the end. Confess and tell me where your sins go. Back to hell, now bring your blessing tenfold. I don't do it for stripes, I do it for Christ. Silly baby, can't pay yapper, we do it
what
for
you
life.
won't do for love. You tried everything, and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above, because God is love. And I'll do what you tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love. Do what you tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love.
All right, back in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Okay, so D-1 bullied us out of doing Line for Line, so we're going to do he has some really good points, and we definitely talked about it. And again, like we've heard that before, and we definitely have open ears to all of that, but we have some awesome ladies in the building, so we wanted to get to this topic. We think this is really important. So let's react to this really quickly.
I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. It's very much that you living in sin, you need to get married. Without realizing that marriage doesn't fix sin. For example, and any woman listening to this can attest in our culture, don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are gonna do them, they're gonna look at you and wonder and question you and challenge you on why you not married.
Where your man at? Where your kids at? All that.
Like it's a prerequisite for identity and value that if you don't have a man, if you don't have kids, that something about you is broken. Do you understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
And how we super spiritualize these messages? He that findeth the wife findeth a good thing. Yeah, but Paul also said, I wish that some of you were like me. I wish some of you could be single, because some of you could even be more useful in the kingdom if you were single, Paul said. Now, marriage is a good thing, but Paul said, but marriage is a necessary distraction.
He said, like that.
Yeah. Yes. Do you know that there are some people, I have many friends that were in ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're gonna be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not gonna let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single.
What church is that?
And so
Right. The youth is where they send you.
Thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma. You can be single and be used by God. You can be single and have purpose. Being married is not a prerequisite for God's hand on your life. It is not, but we've weaponized it.
Wow.
Wow, man.
What do y'all think?
I just think that's so real what he said, because as a 41-year-old single Christian woman, I had to overcome a lot of challenges that other people placed on me. And not only that, just how I saw myself in general as a single Christian woman. And I was just talking to TK about it before we got on the mic, that I feel like sometimes women, we get it from every side. We get it from the church, a lot of times they associate you with lewdness. If you're single, you got to be out here fornicating, or there has got to be something wrong with you. And then like you have the red pill community that puts all of these things on women about body count and stuff like that. So no matter if you're living righteously or if you're living unrighteously, you're going to get heat basically. And you just really need to know who you are in Christ for yourself. And be bold in who God has for you to be, because that's the only way you're going to have peace, and that's the only way you're going to be able to have purpose, walk in your purpose.
Yeah, I think a huge issue is just a lack of contentment, and people also either idolizing marriage or idolizing their single season. like idolizing abstinence, idolizing marriage, idolizing all of these places where, you know, even him speaking from this place as a married man, it does bother me just a tiny bit because I am a married woman and I'm an advocate for marriage. I'm not sure, like as he's speaking, I'm like, where is the necessary distraction? Because I don't feel that.
Yeah.
Like I got married and immediately propelled into purpose, like pushed into my ministry, pushed into everything that has, you know, God has called me to. But I think that single season is necessary too. So I just feel like it's like a lack of contentment in either area that we're even having these type of conversations. Granted, I know that the church has absolutely pushed, look, it's better to, what they say, marry than burn.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but that's also why this is your third marriage. You got 5 baby mamas. You have families all over the place. You can't create generational wealth because you spread your seed everywhere. And like, it's so many parts to it. That's why it's like, no, let's just talk about it all. So if we're gonna get married, let's do it well. Like, let's know the partner. Let's not let sex fog our dating process. Let's actually be on a healing journey, getting to know ourselves, ask the right questions, and not just be in a rush. Like, I guess because I'm horny, I might as well like lock it up and get married. Single season, like, okay, while you're being single, like, please be content in that.
Yes.
Be okay with that. It is so. I tell single women that I coach all the time, like, girl, thrive, like, do your thing, have fun, get to know yourself, heal. Because I got married at 22, got with my husband at 21. I had like 1.5 serious relationships before him. I didn't have a super long single season. So I've also experienced the consequence of just not knowing myself in marriage and having to get to know myself while trying to nurture, try to cater. Then I'm kids back to back. And so like getting lost in that. So it's like, just enjoy either side you're on. Enjoy it. Both sides are beautiful.
That's great balance that you're bringing to that. And I think that scripture is better to marry than to burn was directed at a couple that's already engaged. I don't think that's just meant overall for singles. Like, if you can't have control over your sexuality, you need to find somebody to get married. But that's how a lot of people have interpreted it. And it's been harmful for the body of Christ. And now they're doing studies to try to figure out why evangelicals get divorced so quickly, because they're being forced to be married because they don't have any control over their sexuality. So your singleness is the time that God has given you to gain control over your sexuality, so you can make a wise choice, like she said, getting to know the person, and not just because you can't control yourself. And then I want to say thank you so much for sharing about how you just were pushed into your purpose and you thrived when you got married, because we don't hear that as single people. You know, and marriage is talked about more like, okay, it's just going to be a distraction from your purpose. And then there's almost a false burden placed on singles, like, okay, the singles are set apart for the Lord, so we're just supposed to be working all the time. So sometimes when God has us in a situation of rest, or even healing, you know, for example, I've been going through some grief, you know, and I've been healing from that. So I haven't been able to operate at my full capacity of ministry. But sometimes you feel ashamed if you're not able to be pushing in ministry all the time. But God values us just where we're at.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so important to share.
Yeah, I think thriving is doing the best that you can with what you got in the season that you're in. So my life did not consistently look like getting booked, coaching, on Zoom calls, having my community, any of that. There was a season where I was a mother and a wife. So if you think that it's going to be consistent in what your purpose in ministry would look like, yes, let me go ahead and tell you, it's not. Like, there will be seasons where you are and you should just dive into your home, your children, your marriage. But yeah, I mean, shoot, I had to be kind of stopped in a way. And then my husband didn't help because he my manager. And he like, when we get music out, when we get on. I'm like, sir, I just pushed out 2 kids. Like, wait a minute, like, let me breathe. And he's, oh my gosh, he was on my head so much. So much. But yeah, I feel like there are seasons, and I think that's something that with women we're always trying to like control and like be at our best all the time. You lost someone, grieve. Like, you're freshly married, girl, enjoy your man. The ministry will be there, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah, you ain't gonna have to tell me that when I get married. I've been waiting too long.
Literally, like, girl, enjoy. I mean, I don't want to say honeymoon phase, but just enjoy that fresh love. Like, enjoy that season, and then enjoy ministry when you are booked and you are on phone. Like, just enjoy each and every season. Thrive. And that can look different in each season.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Wow. Okay. That went faster than I thought it would. I thought y'all would disagree with Kirk on that. So are you saying that?
Well, I kind of do.
So you think he's wrong with what he said? You think that people aren't being pushed into marriage as singles by the church?
Now I feel like we're in a culture where it's more singles and they're loving. Like me and my husband talk about this. We meet single men that are, decent looking, got their stuff together, and they just actually enjoy being single. Like they enjoy taking a girl out on a date but not having that commitment. They enjoy, let me say, in my experience, in my sphere of community and people I talk to, I have not heard that.
I think this
Back
is more
in
for
the
the
day,
women. Women are being pushed into marriage. You don't think?
I think women are desiring it deeply. But I feel like we are in a very feminist, independent, boss chick, boss girl, luxury woman, do it on your own hour more than I need to hurry up and get married. But I might be on a different side of the world.
I kind of feel what you're saying, because when I first heard it, I was just like, I feel like if he was talking to just like non-Christian women,
yeah,
then I kind of understand. But if he's talking to Christian women, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a tough one, because I mean, at the same time, it's like I know people that have desires that want to get married and they're single.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, how do you do that? Like, how do you, as a Christian woman, how would you do that if, like you said, if guys are like, I'm cool being that dude at my church, and I can take her out. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. So when I first heard that, I was kind of taken back a little bit, like, because I know there's women that want to be married.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But
For sure.
I think at the same time, because when he talked about like even single, when I was single, we stayed in church.
Yes.
Serving. You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't like, and even we had married people on there serving with us. So that's how I'm like, I don't know. I think my only concern with that was I hope he's not giving the cosign to be like, yes, Kirk, let me stay single.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, that was gonna be like that's the conversation. It's like, okay, so as we are single and as we are very sexual beings, at the end of the day,
talk about it.
What are we doing in that season? Because it's one thing to just kind of be cruising, and I'm talking to women that desire marriage.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, what do they call the people that never
eunuchs?
Is
that
what
eunuch?
Yeah. I was gonna say a nun. Is that what it is?
Well, for females, yes.
Something
similar to that.
So if you are that, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about women that do desire to get married. Like, what are you doing?
They're suffering. They're suffering. That's what it is. The ball is in men's court when it comes to marriage. They have to pursue. They have to go get the ring. They have to propose. And as a woman, we're not supposed to force a guy to do anything. You want a guy to want you for you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So if a guy is not coming after you, and you said it yourself, they're content to just date a woman and kind of play around. That's enjoy a woman's company, but not commit to a woman.
Yes.
So if that's what's going on, what can the woman do? So why are the women getting all of the flack like what Kirk is sharing? Because we're getting the pressure. We're getting the flack. Oh, you're over 35. You can't have any kids. Or maybe it's something wrong with you, or you're against men, or something like that. And that's not really the issue. It's just that a lot of these men are not pursuing us, you know.
Talk about it. 35-year-old bachelors, that's a problem. You enjoying your single?
Yeah, they enjoying it strong. I know
you enjoy hanging with your boys.
I know it. Like, I know so many of them. Me and my husband run into them all the time where it's like, oh, you just like, the vibe of. So I guess the conversation would be more so for men. I mean, we know that there's more purity conferences for women and prepare. I mean, shoot, I have a whole program and community preparing wives. Women to be wives. And so who's doing that for the men? Right? Who has the community for them? Who has, like, every week we're talking about tone, body language, respect, how to not withhold sex from your husband because you're angry at something petty, how to grow an who is doing that for men?
But I think the problem for men I've seen is the men that's doing it is not the men that should be leading them. but they love it because they got the stuff. They got the flash. They got the, you know what I'm saying? Like
the red pill community.
Yeah. But not even red pill, but just the guy that's like the not cocky, but just like
Alpha
the guy
males.
that the alpha
It's the
males
red pill.
in the church. But I'm talking about in the church, not like
There's
online.
red pill church people.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, those type of guys are leading the charge for men. So like, if we came on the scene, they may look at us like, "What y'all got?
We
y'all,
betas."
Yeah, or y'all don't got enough. You know what I'm saying? Because men, for some strange reason, look at other men and see like, "What do you got? Let me size them up. Oh, okay, my man is success. What you talking about? He alright. You know what I'm saying? Because it's visual. For certain men, it's visual.
Within relationships and like striving for marriage.
Well, I would say this. It depends on that man. The average single man will probably look at somebody that looks more flashy and go to them.
But you also gotta understand that there's a lot of men that are bitter because a lot of women who want them now didn't want them when they were early on in their 20s. They were lame back then.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of bitterness that gets built up when you see we don't have time for this next one, but this is kind of leads into the next one. Is that men grow up realizing that women seem to go for the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
then they start to say, "Oh, I'm gonna be the bad guy then."
Yeah.
And then by the time you want the good guy, it's like you didn't want me when I was the good guy. So it's this battle, and I think it's causing this war between men and women right now. Even in the church, there's a lot of guys. I mean, it even impacted us where we would do videos like, "These girls don't want us. They want these flashy dudes that are
That was
loud
like the 2000s though.
Yeah, but still, I mean that age group, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I think that a lot of those guys
It's
that
still
feel
true.
rejected
Yeah.
end up being those playboy.
Yeah.
I ain't committing to nobody type.
But I think
or they married.
But no, but I think what it was for me, I seen other guys that were like that, but I knew that integrity still matters. I knew that God still matters, and I knew God was looking at me like, how are you treating my daughter?
That
You know what I'm saying? Like I had to, even as a single, I had to look at that from that perspective. Like, you know, when I'm dating my wife or I've dated somebody else, and I was like, I don't want that reputation. Like, I don't want that reputation to be like a church player. I don't want that reputation to be like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes some of it is kind of a guilty thing for me too. It's like, because I care what somebody think about me. But at the same time, I still was mindful, like, I don't want my name to go crazy in this church.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people don't care about that. Some men don't care about that.
And I believe that's also why Christian women are marrying dudes that are like, I just got to know Jesus like 2 seconds ago.
Exactly.
Because they are more open to, you know, like the Christian man that has been abstinence, there is not all. In some cases, if they've been abstinent for a long time, there's like this sense of like arrogance and entitlement. I've been abstinent for 4 or 5 years, so you better be at least 7 years in the game. Oh my gosh, don't have kids, don't have more than 2 body counts, don't have more. So there's this extensive list that they're never gonna, I mean, most likely ever find. So the woman that has been rocking with Christ, she's saved. That's why you see like, well sis, why did you, that's a strange pick. You know, he just got to know Jesus. That was odd. It's like, well, sis.
Yeah. But it's the opposite too, because the men that you're talking about will get the new girl. Because we had a conversation about that years ago, where the oldest women would be like, not older like age, but older like in the faith, would be like, dude, I was right here. Why don't you pick me?
Yeah.
And the guys are like, well, because she may be looking at your course and be like, she know how to talk to me or whatever, you know what I mean? But I think at the same time, sometimes we just have those tough questions, those tough conversations have to happen between those, like you said, two mature saints that are singles. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think there needs to be more men programs.
Yeah, I think
and I
those
know
are
there
great.
are some men aren't joining them too.
Yeah.
That part.
I've been to so many single, like we had a married event at our church and the singles were like right after us. And actually I spoke on a panel with one, and let's say there was 100 people in the room, there might have been 15 men.
Jesus.
Might. And then another event that we went to where there was probably like, I don't know, a couple of hundred, it might have been like 30 men.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about like men aren't even showing up
Yeah.
to these places.
Well, a lot of men ain't saved, so
Yeah.
So that's another question too. It's like, so what do, if you showing up to an event and that guy, like 5 men showing up, 10 men showing up to 90 women, it's like you choosing who you think you got. You know what I mean?
Now it's looks.
Yeah.
Now that just comes to who's the coldest in
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That's
so
what's going
a whole
on this
nother
weekend.
topic.
I'm in town for a singles meetup event, and it was about 6 brothers there yesterday, maybe about 150 of us all together, so everybody else were women.
Six?
About 6. It's about 6 brothers there. That's about what I counted.
I don't think men, even single men who feel the way we used to feel. We don't look for singles events to get help with this. Did you?
I don't know. Well, I used to DJ events, so
yeah, but you were invited out. I'm saying like when you just as a single person, like why don't nobody love me? That's how guys. I guarantee you, we felt like that. I guarantee you, there's guys like, what are y'all talking about? We've been out here and nobody wants us. So, so there's guys that feel like that, but we don't tend to look for conferences to get our.
Well, I don't think conferences. Okay. I know more like single church events at your church, maybe. But like going to conferences, I don't know about conferences.
So where are y'all going? Like where, as single men, where are you single Christian men?
The only guys that seem to be standing up for us are those red pill beta male guys that are not beta males, the alpha males that are like, they not respecting you. The feminism is taking over. Look at their. It's blame game because that feels like at least they're talking to me. At least they understand how I feel, how I've been treated. Yeah. I never look to go to a singles conference we just complain about it.
Well, there's your answer, guys.
Yeah, but it's not really a conference. It's a meetup, so it's more like a party.
The problem is a lot of the guys that end up going are data players that y'all talking about. They just trying to pick what they want.
Well, I think a lot of the few guys that are there, they're very mature and serious because it's an abstinence thing. So it's called the Sexist Tribe. So it's about people waiting till marriage. To have sex. So it's awesome. But as far as the feminism stuff, the independent stuff, I think that's just a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of the women can't get the men or can't get godly men. So it's better to tell yourself, oh, I don't need one, if I can't get one because you feel better about yourself. But I wouldn't even believe that, I don't believe that for myself, but I wouldn't believe it for other women. They're just hurt and they want to be loved. And then also there's a double standard. Women were required to heal. Men would always say, oh, you chose the wrong man and all this and that. You need to heal. You need to heal. But these men in these red pill communities or that are listening to these communities, they're not healing. They're in bitterness, So it really goes back to that intimate relationship with God for God to be able to correct you because years ago, when I was getting into the bitterness thing, because I remember telling the Lord that I remember telling him, like, look at what all these guys are doing, and I got to live holy, and I got to suffer for righteousness and all this stuff. The Lord said, don't look at them, look at me. That's what he told me. And the Lord had asked me a question. He was like, why are you so angry? And then he started dealing with me about bitterness and Jonah, because Jonah was bitter about what was going on with the Ninevites, and he taught me about that. So that's never been an issue since then. So it goes back to, okay, whatever your issues are, you need to cast them on the Lord and let the Lord deal with you. Invite him into that so he can correct you, so you can always be in a place where you can actually give and receive love, because that's what we need, because what we're doing now is keeping men and women separate, and we don't need to be separate. We really need each other.
So Jeremiah, what do you, because the question I think is a valid one, where are the guys that were like us before we got married? Where do we go? Where are we at?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
I think the guys that you're looking for may not show up to the singles meeting, but they're really engaged in serving their church. So look for the single guys they may not be at that meeting, but they're doing something.
But how do you, so for the women that aren't necessarily gonna, hey, Marcus, what's your name? How does that connection happen? Because you can see the guys serving at your church, but the single events is for you to mingle and have those conversations. It creates the environment.
I think I know for us, when we used to do destinations, it wasn't a singles event. But it kind of became a singles event. So I think for, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would never have wanted to go to an event that was the point of it. You know what I mean? But we had spoken word events and the stuff like that where you're going to a thing and it happens to be that girls are there and you could talk and find. But to go there for that reason, I don't know if every guy would feel comfortable.
It's a lot of pressure.
If they're the kind of guys that we're talking about.
No,
the other guys, no problem. Yeah, let's go see what's up.
Yeah, I think you're speaking probably for 99% of the men, is that they're not going there to the single events because it might feel strange. We are built from little girls to want marriage. We played with the baby dolls. We wanted the dress. We wanted the train. Like it just always the train that goes on our head when we're getting married.
Make it plain.
And I'll say this: this man, Lost and Found, says something that resonates with me. I'm not every guy, but some guys need help. I needed help.
True. I did.
My wife needed to make it pretty clear that she liked me because I assume that.
Same
I
here.
assume everybody doesn't.
Same here.
So she had to, give me some signals.
And what did these signals look like,
Right.
Sean?
Jesus.
Y'all be missing them.
I started the conversation.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the signals that men be missing?
Everything.
Just body language stuff?
Body language, flirtation, just
The hand on the shoulder.
I'm just,
this is
now let me ask you a question. Now what if you a dude that's you serving with, and you serving with him, and like maybe 3 to 4 other women are serving with him, and they doing the exact same thing, and he looking at y'all like,
because they probably are all flirting.
They all flirting with you.
Yeah, but you don't know, like as a man.
But this may be controversial, but what if you do that with a lot of dudes? A lot of guys.
Another thing too.
A lot of guys may be like, I want you to choose me because you see something. You see something about me.
Yeah.
Not that you just want a dude.
Yeah.
So if I see that you with this one over here, then I'm gonna be like, then you just do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing special about me.
Yeah. Facts.
Okay, let's get back to that question I had asked you earlier.
So I needed a lot of help. I did reach out. I knew my wife kind of like around because she went to my college, and so I had kind of seen her. But I did reach out to her on Facebook, and we started a conversation, DM conversation. And I literally had to ask, I was like, do you think this girl likes me? I remember I asked Rick Sincere, I asked Ryan, I asked you, and they had to convince me like, no, I think she does, man. I'm like, I can't tell. And so she would keep coming back to the conversation, asking me questions, and just pinging me just to let me know that this isn't just I'm making it up in my head, So I think just a little bit of help may be good, but I would say save that help for who you really admire, that you see that there's something going on with them with God.
Yeah.
Because I'm observant to where like if I can't tell that this is special for me, then I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that was definitely the same for me and my husband. I dang near had to be like, look, I like you. Like it was so many different signs that he just did not catch. But then also, like he was saying that he thought I was in a season that I wasn't like flirting with him because I was just smiling. And he was like, you're kind of like the first woman that smiles a lot. And like look me in my eyes. And I was like, oh, that was flirting? So I'm listening to you. I'm like, dang. So men think, smiling and looking in your eyes is flirting.
Yeah.
But that was going to be the next conversation is like women, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but for some, if you are like super reserved or super introverted, like I am actually, you might have to get comfortable with positioning yourself in situations that somebody that you have your eyes on will be like, he'll be there, or having the first conversation, hey, put my number in your phone, not necessarily asking like, hey, take my number, So I think that's one thing is that unfortunately in this season, you got to be comfortable with that a little bit.
I would say for y'all, just make sure the Holy Spirit gives you the check to do that.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is real. Because you don't
make sure they're worth it.
Yeah, because you don't want to do that and then you see him talking to another girl and you be like jacked up in your emotions and stuff.
And this is the reason why I say that I needed help, and I think a lot of us need help, was think about the mindset a man of God who's really trying to live for God is in. I'm trying to ward off all them temptations. I'm trying not to look and see if you're looking at me. I'm actively trying not to notice that kind of stuff. So if you want me to notice, I may need some help because I'm constantly in the mindset of
purity,
being humble, not thinking highly of myself. And sometimes it could get negative. Like you could actually go too far in where I get to where I don't think highly of myself at all. So you just got to know that they're battling within themselves to remain pure, to remain a godly
quality
man.
The
ones that you want.
Yes.
So just know that could be what they're going through. So if you notice, and I would wait for some sort of sign that they might see you that way, because I don't want you to get disappointed, because some guys are very visual, and if they just don't happen to click with what you look like, you may get offended that they don't like you. Because that's just how it is sometimes. But if you notice that there's some, like vibe there and something, you may need to help them a little bit. Don't go overboard and step outside of who you are, but just confirm they may be curious and not sure,
I agree with that. I feel like I know situations where like a woman has pursued a man so much that she wasn't his type, but because she was so like aggressive, he like married her and of course ended up cheating because she was so aggressive, and it's like, well, shoot, okay, yeah, I do, well, sure, like let's do it. So yes, agree. And I would hope, I try not to always think that things are common sense. I will hope and pray that y'all know, absolutely take the Holy Spirit, like yes, be discerning, yes, before you even step out and do anything, like be on your healing journey, know your non-negotiables, not just a vain list. He needs to be 6'2", but character, integrity, honest, provider, protector, pure, whatever. So yeah, please take that with y'all.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
And I think people always say it in a bad way for women, but like settling, like, oh, you just settle for that nice guy, but don't settle for the playboy. Don't settle for
That's a settle for sure.
Don't settle for the dude that's the flashy dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just know, because if you're anything like me, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I do notice, like, if your Facebook is full of like, you know, like, I'm gonna be like, okay, well then this person it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna notice how you talk to the dude over there that you maybe have more muscles than me, and if you look like you giving him the same energy, then I'm like, okay, then she must not be. I'm not that. Like, people pay attention.
That's so big. And it's crazy because I've had women talk to me about how they feel unseen being modest. Like the girl that does have the body and she putting that dress on, those are the ones that eat Christian men. You know, like we've heard Christian men. There's I won't, name drop, but there was a guy, I would think a God-fearing man that was like, I don't want my wife all wrapped up. Like, I need to be able to see before. Like,
I think I know who you're talking about.
You don't want to marry them. You don't want them ladies.
I need to see she got the hips that I want, like the shape that I want. Because at the end of the day, most men are visual. So there is that war of like, I literally had a woman tell me like, you're telling me to be modest and you're a married woman, so it doesn't matter if no one sees you. I'm still on the search. And I like, men are interested in how I look. I'm gonna show just a little bit. Like, I'm gonna show a little bit of this body.
Yeah, but the beauty is not just sex. Like,
exactly.
Beauty is your face, your skin. Like,
Facts.
there's thing that's beautiful about a woman that's not just
body.
Imagining having sex with her. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I think you can show that you are like presenting yourself to a person without it being sexual.
Right.
You know? I think people rush to that, but I knew my wife was beautiful. She's just beautiful. You don't have to you don't have to take anything off to show that. Like, it's obvious.
Right.
So the person that has eyes for you is gonna notice that you're beautiful, whatever you got.
Exactly. Ladies, you're so much more than butt and breasts.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to show skin. You can be modest and show a little shape without being like a stumbling block. Like, come on. We got to stop looking at the women of the world and letting them define what's modesty for us. It goes back to, like, even what Wrestling was saying, all of this goes back to your relationship with the Lord, your intimacy with the Lord, because the rest of that is insecurity. And insecurity is not attractive.
It's not.
So as you build that intimacy with the Lord and he is your husband man first, that's actually scripture. I think we just need to be more prayerful in this as well, because I don't need to walk up to every guy. I don't need to go to every singles event. I can pray and say, Lord, which one should I go to?
Yeah.
Who should I talk to?
Yeah.
And I think this helped me as well. It may not help women, but as for the guys that are listening, if you're meant to be married, God knows you're going to get married or not, right? If you're meant to be married, your spouse already exists. They're already walking around thinking about you, not thinking about you, worried about school, worried about work. They are a real person. They're on the earth somewhere, right? Hopefully, praise God. Hopefully. So that person is a real person. So pray that you're going into this thing not to meet a man or a woman. You're trying to find your actual wife that God already knows their name. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So that helped me realize that if God wants me to be married, I'm going to be married. If he doesn't, I'm not. Deal with that first. Are you okay with that, first of all?
Yeah.
If you are, if that person exists, he's going to work it out for you. Just trust him.
Amen.
So
I have a question too. So I have read a book called God is a Matchmaker by Derek Prince, and he spoke of, like, initially what Adam and Eve, that Eve was presented to Adam, and like in both of his marriages, it was literally like God presented his wife. He illuminated her to him. So for you guys that are married, what was that experience like, seeing your wife, meeting your wife? Was she illuminated anyway? What made her stand out to you?
Oh, sorry. I mean, they were talking to me, and Ryan is trying to talk to me. Say it one more time. Sorry.
Now, back to the book. How far did you hear?
None of it.
I was saying, basically, I read a book, and the author said he referred back to Adam and Eve, that Eve was presented to Adam.
Yeah.
And then in his marriages, God presented his wife to him. She was like illuminated in this way. God made it clear, like, this is your wife. So I was wondering, like, with you guys and your wives, like, was there something about her that stood out, or was she illuminated to you? To you was like, yeah, that one right there.
I knew Maya since for years, like prior to we dated and different things like that. I think what I knew, we had conversations and we went on a date because we were friends. I think that was another thing for me. Me and my wife was friends before we started dating. It wasn't just like that. So, and honestly, he was like, my friends was like, man, she like you. Go on a date with that woman. I was like, she do? Really? For real? Like,
we had to force him.
Yeah. So, but I think after our first date, I was just like, I really want her to be my wife. You know what I mean? Like, I knew like going, but I knew like, cause I was in a previous relationship and I was telling myself, I was like, I don't want to get to know somebody again. Cause I knew deep down, I was like, I wanted a friendship. I didn't want it to be like, let me get to know you, let me build on. I didn't want that no more. Cause it didn't really end the way I wanted it to. So when I got with my wife, I was just like, I want a friendship at our foundation. And when we had that, then that's when it was like, we built on it.
Yeah, for me it was I when I was younger, I really went on this binge of I want to find my wife, I want to be a godly man and all this kind of stuff. And I can't remember his name. I think his name is Pastor Tommy Nelson. He did a Song of Solomon series where he went through Song of Solomon verse by verse and kind of gave more context to what was going on. And one thing he said was, you want somebody who you're running your race for Christ. You're running eyes focused on him. And every now and then you look to the left or the right and you see somebody running with you. And you're like, why don't we just do it together? That's what I had in my mind. And the characteristics he said to look for are somebody who is a sweetheart, who loves Jesus, who wants to get to know him better and puts him first. So getting to know my wife, every single conversation was us talking about where she wants to be with God, how she wants to grow, how she wants to do this. And just hearing that she had a sweet heart, like no matter what happens between us, I know she's going to go to God and she's going to present her heart to God and ask him to give her the answer. You have to find that, because if that person doesn't have that attitude towards God, you guys are going to have problems. So seeing that in her and just realizing that she really, really cared about what God cares about, that's what kind of lit her up. She already just beautiful from the beginning, but that's what made me go, that's it. That's what I was waiting on.
Okay.
Amen.
Back to the
That's
relationship
awesome.
and intimacy with the Lord.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you guys. We're a little bit over, but I wanted to, Ryan, this is what Ryan was trying to tell me while you were talking. So we are going to be doing a listening party for Childlike Cece this Friday, August 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. at the studio. More info will be shared on social media if you want to be a part of it. It's going to be a small thing, but just want to make sure you guys know. So check our social media. You'll see some more posts about that. Thank you guys for coming.
Yay.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
If you missed, we did an interview with TK Lee at the beginning for Patreon. We'll probably put that out later, but if you want to see it early, go to patreon.com/Trackstarz Universe, and you'll see the interview we did with her. Thank you so much for coming. You're awesome. Come back anytime.
Bring me back.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's